Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten, the show where 5 DMs take on D&D's top Gothic horror campaign. I'm Dragnacarta, your host and DM, and it has been an incredibly long journey to get to this point. We are at the end, ladies, gents, and assorted others. How are we all feeling?
Feeling
Terrified.
like it's good to be back. Good day, mates.
No.
Feeling great. Excited to see how the dice treat us, because that's what it is now. It's RNG.
Yep. I am excited to go back to my favorite dungeon. I love Ravenloft. It's so stupid, but I love it so much.
I do not understand how anybody can look at Ravenloft and be like, yes, some architect decided that this would be a reasonable place to live in.
In fairness, Strahd canonically bitches about that. He complains in all the novels that it's terribly designed.
He's also a bachelor. Have you ever been to his bachelor's house or like their one-bedroom apartment? It's always kind of a mess.
Bed on the
Nothing makes
floor.
sense. Yeah.
Pizza boxes.
Well, he literally has his bed on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
dirt.
like this is just the ultimate in bachelor pads, but like, does he really need 12 floors of it?
Yes, he does.
He has an elevator.
He has to compensate.
Something's 12. Never mind.
Oh God.
On that note, I think we're all good to go. We are ready to return to Castle Ravenloft. So, with that said, let's dive in and get started with the final dungeon, the Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten. And welcome back. So, last we left off on Twice Bitten. Our companions had entered the darkest depths of the Amber Temple, and there, Casimir and Kiva accepted the dark gifts of Zudun, the Corpse Star, gaining within them the power to resurrect the ancient dead. On Casimir's part, in an effort to resurrect his long-dead sister Petrina, from where her body and spirit lay deep in the catacombs of Castle Ravenloft. As he agreed to accompany the PCs, our companions, to the castle to resurrect his sister and combat Strahd at their side, Lillison accepted a dark gift from the Vestige Vampire, the secret of undeath and immortality. Together, the companions traveled descending Mount Gacchus, thereupon arriving at the bridge over a great pass over Luna Lake, at which they were attacked, set upon by the rock of Mount Gacchus. Surviving, though not without some scars and losing some of the loot they had gained at the treasury of the Amber Temple, they continued downward into the valley, soon thereafter arriving once more at Vallaki. After spending some time in the town and preparing themselves for the day to come, the party agreed to conduct some reconnaissance at the castle itself. Upon arriving at the castle and bypassing a black carriage that had awaited them evidently at the dark crossroads by the western Barovian gates, the companions arrived outside of the dark, ancient keep, therein flying forth on polymorphed steeds, into the air beyond the overlook facing the eastern side of Barovia, and there below, seeing stained glass windows entering into the crypts and tombs far below the castle itself. After uncovering this information, though perhaps not without Strahd's own eyes and ears noticing their comings and goings, the companions are now unlikely heroes, came back together and returned to Vallaki to prepare themselves for the day and final battle to come. At the Blue Water Inn, with old tensions forged into new or stronger relationships, with plans made and strategies spun, with the final stories told and plans, hopes, and dreams for the hoped-for dawn at the end of a long, dark nightmare, our heroes turned in to rest, and, awakening the next morning, prepared for themselves a magical, kingly feast. As they enjoyed the magical fruits of their labors and steeled their wills, bodies, and minds for the trials that were to come, they bid farewell to their hosts, the Mardikovs, the friends that they had made, and set off with the allies that they had recruited, once more on the road eastward toward the dark castle, far in the distance. And so, our companions find themselves traveling eastward on the old Svalich road, as the dark gates of Vallaki shrink from sight behind them, beneath the dim gray light and the pitter-patter of the drizzle of the gray Barovian morning.
I would just like to say, retcon something, since I was not in attendance last time. Metron did give himself a mohawk.
Very important retcon. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
So, as your boots trod through the sludgy muck of the old road, the drizzle falling very faintly through the trees as their boughs rattle and sway in the cold wind, it's so dark overhead that it's almost something you could mistake for night. Barovia has gathered a shroud of darkness over and amongst itself, hunkering down as they're preparing the land itself for the storm you know to be coming. As you travel upward and outward out of the valley, largely in silence but occasionally breaking the quiet to speak, keeping a wary eye on the tree line, is there anything that you would like to do?
Lillison would like to keep an eye out for bats and wolves.
You may certainly do so. Make a perception check. And
That's
anyone
what
else who
Earthwind
would like
here.
to assist. Go for it.
That's a 23.
23. All right. And from Erthrendir?
14.
14. The two of you look out, scanning the sides of the road. You don't see any indication of any spies, wolves, bats, anything else lingering beyond the underbrush. It seems, other than the occasional distant call of a raven and the cold whistling and whispering of the wind through the cracked, ancient boughs and branches, you're alone.
Lillison catches Erthrendir's eye as they're scanning the trees, and she sighs a little bit and she says, I suppose we might have expected this.
He knows we're coming.
Yes, and after all, what more information could we give him? At this point, he knows our capabilities. He knows some of our weaknesses.
Well, let's make sure that not observing us will be the last mistake he makes. He's gotten complacent. Let's shatter that.
She nods and looks around at everybody else. I know that we've all, picked up a few surprises, let's say. Is there anything that we should be less than surprised if it happens unexpectedly?
Well,
Like any spells that are going to summon like a great ravening monster that all of us should know not to murder.
Yes, things like that.
It can't happen yet, but at some point I might try to weasel information out of this guy. Amity's holding up Rahadin's corpse, which is starting to smell bad. When that happens, I guess don't panic unless I say so.
We'll keep that in mind.
Wait, has Amity just been like dragging this corpse behind her like this whole time? We just haven't noticed.
I mean, she's like pretty tall and like pretty swole. I'm imagining she's like kind of bundled him up and is kind of like backpacking him in a very.
She's got him in a rug. It's fine.
Oh, I thought she was just like dragging him by the foot with her tail.
That's the question. Amity, how exactly are you transporting Rahadin's corpse? Stinking corpse.
Yeah, so at first she was like carrying it on her shoulders, but when it started to smell bad, I think sort of wrapping the tail around his waist and just sort of dragging it through the mud. That's the most appropriate for Rahadin.
Absolutely horrible. I love it.
The man gets no dignity. You know who he is.
No. Casimir seems to be fine with this. On that note, Esmeralda does kind of grin darkly at the sight of Rahadin, and then clears his throat and says, "It's not exactly a demon, but just in case it helps that you're aware." She kind of holds her overcoat open to show 3 vials of holy water still placed into little slots, internal pockets. I should be able to, at least a few times before the day is out, summon a circle of warding. Once it is placed, it is something of a barrier or a trap, depending on what we need it to be. It has a few different applications, but I think the most relevant for our purposes will be either creating a trap that can bind undead that enter it, or creating a protective wall that the undead cannot enter.
That'll be very useful. Thanks, Ez.
Yes, how long does that last?
It lasts for an hour. It takes a minute for me to cast. The good news is that if you can lure something into it, then it is stuck in there. So they don't have to be there when you start, but if you do make it as a barrier, or if they are trapped in there, they can't leave it, but if they have, say, I don't know, a fireball spell, that could probably cost the barrier.
And it's... you need to concentrate, right?
Surprisingly, I do not. Once it is a matter of preparing a radius of a certain cylinder on the ground, the runes themselves are self-sustaining, but they burn out after a period of time. It is a matter of instilling.
So we're trying to lure someone into it. Sorry.
Oh yes, go on.
Then, I mean, what does it look like? Because if there's like shimmering columns of "this will trap you," then no one's going to step into that.
It is fairly obvious, and given who we are up against, I dare say that any creature with at least a smidgen of knowledge of the Arcana would know not to step within if it posed danger to it. So it is not the most mobile of traps, it is merely an option we might want to keep in mind.
Lillison is frowning, and her finger traces out a circle shape in the air. If it is a cylinder, does it prevent him from going up or down?
Yes, it is something of a cage.
Ah, so it closes.
It is not. Yes,
cylinder.
indeed. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
We could do a lot with that. Oh, right, that reminds me. And Erthrindir, whose pack is just filled to bursting, begins dumping out just an enormous amount of rope. All right, Metreon, Kiva, Amity, Lillison, each of y'all take some of this, please. For your own safety and mine. I do not want my spine to snap before we get there.
So, the rope is for what again? Or
it's just to have. You never know.
Yeah. So, just to be clear though, we're not like scaling the castle to get in, right? We're doing
that is precisely what we're doing, yeah.
Oh god, no, what? Oh.
I wish I'd brought my repelling gear then. That would
Aerith grins and pulls a set of it out of his pack. I come prepared.
See, I was joking, but I'm glad that someone is.
Yeah, and I do have Featherfall, so don't worry, we can afford to be a little less cautious.
How many of them Featherfalls you got? You got, enough, like 10 of them for each of us, just in case, we all fall on ours.
Not if we all fall, no. At that point, I'm going to have to make some unfortunate choices.
Oh god, my stomach is just all wrapped up right now.
Yeah, me too. Let's just get to the damn place. I just want to do it. I'm tired of... we've been talking about it for, it feels like a year now. Let's kill the fucker, alright?
Not if we fall to our deaths first, right? Alright.
That would be such an upsetting way to go, though. Just like thinking about it right now.
It'd be kind of dramatic, though.
I think it'd be really frustrating to get this far and then just to slip on a rope and that's it.
I used to watch this puppet show growing up. They'd play at the circus sometimes, but it was it's like this bird, and then it was like this wolf that always chase it, and then all the time it'd almost get the bird, but then it'd fall off a cliff or something, or so an anvil would drop on it.
Oh, so I remember that puppet show.
Oh, you had it where you was? Oh.
Wily Coyote, the puppet show.
Oh, it was a coyote. I thought it was a wolf. But,
whatever it was. I mean, I'm not really a fan. It was like the Acme Circus Company that did it.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, there was a crazy lot. Wait, why are we talking about circuses? Oh yes, because I don't want to die by falling off a cliff.
I will do my best to
snorts
avoid
and holds out a hand. Right, give me the fucking rope.
Earthdeer passes him the rope.
Davian begins, with your ascent, tying knots in the rope every few feet for ease of traversing up and down. And while he does, he mutters, right, well, I can guarantee that so long as I'm around, none of you morons are going to fall to your deaths. Just so we can minimize it.
Oh, see, he does care about us.
Much obliged.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And he's just going to kind of keep making knots in the rope while he walks.
Very much appreciated.
But what was the thing about the puppet show?
Something about somebody falling off a cliff?
Yeah, it's like...
Pretty much always falling off cliffs and dying.
Getting an anvil or like a piano dropped on it for some reason. It was a very cruel puppet show.
What a waste of a piano, good lord.
Well, I mean, it was like, a puppet-sized piano.
That's less.
And they had like an infinite amount of pianos, so it wasn't really something to worry about.
I need to find this circus. Y'all are intriguing me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's around.
As you continue this conversation regarding the circus, is there anything more that you would like to discuss as you travel, or just continue?
I think we'll leave our thinly veiled references on the table and move on.
All right. With that said, as you continue your discussion of puppet shows and assorted other topics of entertainment, around 2 hours pass from the time you first left Valaki's gates until you arrive at a familiar crossroads. The place where once more you see, beyond the western Barovian gates, the dark cobblestone thoroughfare, ancient and decayed, leading eastward through the mountains toward the castle. And here, once more waiting for you, puffing out large clouds of steamy breath and their coats slick with the moisture of the rain, the two black horses standing with the carriage, the lantern glimmering with light and the dark gloom of the forest intersection. Once more, as you approach, the door silently swings open in a silent beckon.
Now, Strahd, anyone want to take a ride?
Lillison walks straight up to the door and then pauses and glances around at everybody else.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk.
Yeah, Amides will also accept the ride. My legs are tired. unless this immediately kills us, it's the better option. At least for me.
Lillison looks down at the corpse of Rahadin. Is he going to come in with us?
Is there somewhere on, like, the top that he can be just tied to the top? Like you tie a Christmas tree to the top of your car?
So
Yeah,
there
just
is
strap him
a
up there.
driver's seat. You can kind of like prop him in the driver's seat if you want, kind of weakened at Bernie's it.
Kiva was sitting in the driver's seat. She can make room though for him if you know, if we want to store the corpse up there.
I don't know. I kind of like just strapping him to the roof. You know. Just...
Yeah, I
It,
think
it feels fitting.
What, like a Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Take our rope and just kind of like wrap it around through the through the doorways and
Yeah, I mean
Be
he'll
fine.
be fine.
Yeah.
It's not like he's gonna feel it or
get
anything.
wet, but it'll be fine. We'll rehydrate
All right.
Rahadin.
So who is not going in the carriage? I guess
Kiva-
Kiva is riding in the driver's seat.
Kiva's riding on the
riding on the
outside.
roof, and Earthendir's walking.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then everyone else, I guess, will pile in. There's room for 8 of you inside. So if Kiva and Earthendir are outside of the main compartment of the carriage, then there should be room for the rest of you inside.
All right, cool.
All right. With that, as you enter, each of you making yourselves comfortable and Kiva taking her place at the front driver's seat, the door quietly swings shut. The horses whinny softly and then slowly begin trotting forward before pulling into a bit of a faster pace. Earthendir, you can keep up with a bit of a jog if you'd like.
He shall.
All right. As you do, you feel the rain and hear it in the inside, thudding off the top of the wooden liqueured carriage. You can hear the swaying and clinking of the lantern as the horses pull it forward, the wheels rattling over the slightly uneven stone scattered road. It's not long before looking at the window, you can see the intersection falling out of sight, and behind a craggy mountain cliff as you leave the crossroads behind entirely. Kiva, you do have one little bit of entertainment as you move. Despite the horses in front of you, you feel fairly confident that they would not obey any of your commands, despite the fact that reins do seem to be available. But there is one piece of entertainment, which is that Rahadin's corpse is flopping about like a rag doll, no clipping, on top of the carriage. It's kind of unsightly.
Kiva is just elated and actually looking for any maybe like stray bats or something that's watching, just to like really rub it in, like as
Make a perception
hard
check.
as possible.
All right.
23.
23. As the carriage makes its way, beginning to thunder on the winding road to the mountains, you glance northward and you see an old dead tree from which 2 of the gnarled branches, like claws stretching out into the mist, are 2 small bats staring at you with tiny, beady eyes.
So as she notices them, she's going to do like an old Disney Channel star, but just trace a really big heart in the air, and then blow a little kiss, and keep focused on the road.
Beautiful. I love that for her.
So when we're about 10 minutes away from Castle Ravenloft, and Amy estimates that, she's going to re-ritual cast Rary's telepathic bond, so that we get the most use out of it we can.
Okay, as the spell takes hold, each of you feels that consciousness connecting to the others. Now, who was included with this and who was not, just to confirm? Because it was up to 8 creatures, I think?
Oh, geez. That is a good point. I'm gonna have.
5 of us.
I need an itemized list of who's with us.
There are 10 people. Just pick your 2 least favorite NPCs.
My
Wow.
2 least favorite NPCs.
Choose wisely.
I'm sorry, Davian and Ismark, you are irrelevant. Feel free to suggest people so irrelevant that I didn't even remember they existed right then.
I mean, you could also like leave out your 2 least favorite PCs.
See, this is kind of just always
It's
serves
just
up
a
some
regular
rubbish.
Discord server at that point. Just one
Oh my
server where
God.
we exclude people and bully
Yep.
them.
I mean, it says the
No,
hit score has to be
no.
above 2, so we can't cast on Davian anyway.
Ooh.
Wow. Rude.
Burn.
Oh, that was savage.
Burn.
That's going in the history books, boys.
Oh boy. All right.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll keep Ismark and Davian excluded. The other 8 of you feel the spell take hold telepathically.
For a moment, you hear a mental, like, unfiltered thought of cold, cold, wet, cold, cold. What the fuck? Amity, did you do the thing again?
Oh, yeah, you mean the
reason I'm talking to you in your
each other.
mind? Yes.
Yes.
Nice. How's it in there, in the warm?
Nice and toasty. You could have come in here, you know.
I could, but I stick to my principles.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't really like Strahd either, but these are pretty plush cushions in here.
I hope you enjoy them.
So like crushed velvet. It's very dramatic.
You hear both telepathic and out loud grumbling as Earthrendir struggles to keep up in the rain.
I hope your socks ain't getting too wet, right? It's
My
cold socks will be
boots
the death of you.
are a
Yeah.
marsh.
So, because of all like the bats and stuff, Strahd has to know that, you know, we're here, or at least in a few minutes he'll know we're here.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Do you think he's the type to wait by the front door?
Well, I did tell him last night that we would not be coming in by the way we're about to come in, so...
Hopefully believes it.
I feel like he's gonna like a dramatic entrance. You know, he's gonna want something that's gonna be real impactful before we die. You know, it's a lasting memory and all that.
Yeah, he could have killed us all in our sleep, like, at any time in the last month. He's gonna make sure that it's spectacular.
And as the word spectacular leaves your mental thoughts, as the carriage winds through the forest and craggy mountain peaks, the road suddenly turning toward the east in a familiar curve around the mountain crag, lightning splits the sky, and the startling, awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft towers before you once again. The carriage comes to a dead stop before twin turrets of stone, broken from years of exposure. Beyond these guard towers, you can see the precipice of the 50-foot wide fog-filled chasm disappearing to unknown depths. You can see the lowered drawbridge, the old shored-up wooden beams stretching across the chasm, the chains creaking in the wind, the rust-eaten iron straining under the weight. From atop the high walls, the gargoyles continue to stare at you from their hollow eye sockets, grinning hideously in the darkness, as a rotting wooden portcullis, green with growth, hangs above the entry tunnel. Beyond this location, as they did the day before, still yet now as though expecting your presence, the main doors stand open. Rich, warm light spilling from within, flooding the courtyard, and torches fluttering sadly on both sides of the open doors. The carriage door silently swings open.
Well, going?
Kiva just sort of stares in wonder at the castle, now it being this close, and just sort of shakes her head very sadly and just goes, "What a wonder this place might have been, if not for him." And then she'll, offer a hand to help everyone out of the carriage or to get Rahadin off the top.
Yeah, I'd say Metron will stay behind in the carriage for a little bit, kind of letting everyone else pass him by. But when everyone else is out of the carriage, hold on, just a quick second. You see him. He stands in the entrance into the carriage, his back facing everyone else, and you just hear this back and forth sipping of piss just all over the quick carriage, just on every cushion, on every window, every curtain. And sorry about that. I just had to get the jitters out.
Ew.
Oh, I love it.
I approve of the sentiment, but not the delivery.
And here I was hoping that we could commandeer this after we're done.
I mean, you still can, yeah.
Not without a great deal of dry cleaning.
Well, you know, Randy's got prestidigitation, right?
Not on your life.
Well. Oh well.
Alright. So a bit of a technical question. So last time we flew down to the window, right? Via polymorph?
Yes.
And do I see a place where we could rappel down the cliff? And if so, how do we get there?
So, from what you recall when you flew over there in polymorph form, on the far side of the keep, there is an overlook, a balcony of sorts, that appears to connect to the rear grounds of the castle. If you were to get there, it seems feasible that you would be able to rappel down somehow and climb the rest of the way.
Bad news. We're going to actually have to go inside the grounds if we want to preserve spells, which I think we do.
Would it be possible to, like, just edge our way around the stone wall on the outside?
Incredibly dangerous, especially in this weather.
We've all played Breath of the Wild, where Link tries to climb a wet mountain.
I think we just got to go inside.
Okay, so, we all are prepared, though, for the fact that he might not let us back out when we go in?
No, not at all. I'm not emotionally, mentally, physically prepared for it at all.
I think just everyone stay on their guard and be ready.
Yeah. Remember our priorities. Wear them down. Conserve your resources. Keep each other safe.
Kiva lowers her veil and activates the sun sword to its fullest brightness.
It blazes to life, its radiance creating an aura, a nimbus of golden light stretching for 60 feet all around you. There's almost a feeling of relief, as though it is unfolding itself after so long waiting in patience and suppression. The sun sword blazes with excitement and fury in the back of your thoughts. It is ready.
Oh.
Just because it might be the last time, I feel like I need a hug. And Metron goes up to Ismark and wraps his arms around him.
Ismark grunts briefly and then just kind of softens and kind of awkwardly pats Metron on the back. Look, we're all going to make it out of this okay. We're going to go in there, we're going to kill this bastard, and we're going to walk out.
Yeah, I just needed, yeah. I'll believe you. Yeah, that's right. And, Metron kind of slaps his chest as if to pump himself up, and as he does, there's this, like, flash, this corona of light that kind of, flares for a bit, and, he's gonna go ahead and cast False Life on himself.
Woo!
Ooh!
Okay.
That's a new trick.
It's not actually. He used it. I've only used it one other time, and that was when Isaac almost killed me.
Right.
There is a brief moment as you see icy black veins kind of protruding, stretching across each part of his flesh, pulsating with strange vital force, and then they fade back in once again. The golden glow around them shimmering and fading into twinkles before dissipating entirely.
Oh, never get used to that. All right. Who's leading the way? Because it ain't me.
I'll do it. Though, you reminded me of something, and Erthrendir is going to quickly stop to cast Mage Armor on himself and Amity. And then he will make across the bridge.
Alright, as you do, Casimir will cast Mage Armor on himself quite happily. And Erthrendir, you're heading inside?
Yeah?
Alright, what is everyone's marching order, please?
Oh boy.
Oh, geez.
Oh no.
I think Kiva can be in the middle, so that way everyone is in the circle of sunlight
That's
without
good
risk
sense.
of getting lost. So that makes sense. She'll just be in whatever the middle is.
I'd say we're probably 2 to a line, so 5 ranks. So Erthrendir and someone up front, Kiva and someone in the middle, and then the important bits are who's in the front and the back, I think.
All right, Ez will go in the front. She doesn't mind being tanky.
Alrighty. And in that case, who wants to be in the back?
I think Lillison isn't exactly in the back. She's probably like one row up.
Davian will be there if you want to go next to him.
Do I want to go next to him? I guess I can go
Up
next
to
to
you.
him.
All right.
Kiva's strategy of keeping Irina close as well is probably going to work here. So she can march with Irina.
All right. Does Amity want to be toward the front or toward the back?
Either way is fine. Maybe second row or something.
All right. In that case,
I can be in the back.
I guess.
Davian.
All right. Ismark will go next to Amity then. And all right, Davian and Metron in the back, and we'll put Casimir next to Lillison.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've got Aerith and Ez leading it up, followed by Amity and Ismark, followed by Kiva and Irina. Next up, Casimir and Lil, and then Davian and Metron bringing up the back. All right. With that, Aerith and Esmeralda stepping forward across the bridge. You see before you the dark, rotted drawbridge. It's several of its boards missing in places. And as you step forward, the towering mass, the structure of Castle Ravenloft, its shadow casting down upon you, chills your soul just a bit. Each time you step forward, you hear the drawbridge creaking very faintly, groaning beneath your weight, almost as though the rotting boards are just waiting for a second to snap, but they seem to hold your weight, sturdy enough for now. 2 by 2, you step ahead, passing over top of the drawbridge, watching anxiously for anything from the fog-filled chasm or the darkness around you or the stormy skies overhead. But once again, for the moment, you are alone. For a moment, one of you almost catches a glimpse of the bottom of the cliffs, far, far hundreds, 1,000 feet below, and there's a sense of vertigo as the fog plunges away. And then, stepping forward, a brief sense of relief passes over you as you step ahead beyond the portcullis and into the gate leading to the courtyard. As you enter, the weather darkens further, the dismal rain swirling harder and harder, the lightning lighting the sky, followed by peals of thunder. One cracks around you, making the whole castle shudder all around you. You can see up ahead, thick cold fog swirling in this courtyard. Sporadic flashes of lightning lance the weeping clouds above as thunder shakes the ground, and through the drizzle, you can see torch flames fluttering on each side of the keep's open main doors. Warm light spills out of the entrance, flooding the courtyard, and high above the entrance, you see a round window with shards of broken glass lodged in its iron frame. The courtyard extends to your left and to your right, moving around either side of the keep. The main entryway stands open, patiently.
Do we get the sense that he might be nearby watching? Can we see anything inside that might lead us to believe that?
Make a perception check with disadvantage, due to the somewhat obscured nature of the area.
Uh, 12.
It's hard to see through the rain, the veil of fog. There could be any number of things lurking atop those turrets along the high walls of the keep, cloaking themselves in shadow. Or perhaps it's only tricks of the mind. You're not sure.
Kiva just shudders a little bit and waits for Erthrindir to lead the way.
To get to the overlook he saw, was it on the right side from this perspective or from the left?
He didn't see anything. There was another sort of keep wall and a large entryway leading from the rear part of the grounds to the overlook. He couldn't see anything beyond that.
Okay. Well, left first, I suppose. And he will ignore the very inviting door and start heading around the bulk of the castle.
To the left you go, then. You see here, a massive wall juts out to connect the outer walls of the castle with the keep. A 20-foot wide, 20-foot tall archway offers passage through the connecting wall, but is blocked by a rusting iron portcullis.
Do I see a mechanism anywhere that would raise it?
There doesn't seem to be, no. It just seems to be closed.
Alright. I might need some strong people to help me with this one. This thing looks... Age is probably taking a toll. As he reaches into his pack, fishes as it rattles a great bit and retrieves a crowbar. Ismark, as Kiva, Amdi, could one of y'all help me with this?
Of course.
Alright. And he'll pass her the crowbar and sort of stand ready to try and lift this thing.
Is this just regular, like, strength, or do I get, like, a thing because of it?
So I will say that with the portcullis, with the crossbow and the four of you working together and Kiva leading, with a grunt working together, pulling up the moist, rain-sodden, rusted iron, you're able to slowly pull it upward, heaving with your might, and it's luckily, thankfully, unlocked. And only the weight itself resists you, but together you're able to push it up until some unseen mechanism allows it to lock in place most of the way up.
Thank you.
Eva just nods. This is a wholly scary.
You do get the sense that once you stop holding it, though, it will probably fall again, unless propped open somehow. Like, the four of you are still holding it in place.
Okay. In that case, we probably need to preserve an exit route. Is there something we could, like, tie the weight of it off to? Like a particularly thick bit of a pillar or a bit of statuary or something?
Unfortunately, you can't see the top of the portcullis, so you can't get that leverage. It's inside the actual wall of the keep.
Damn.
Is there anything around that you can just jam?
Prop it open? Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something nearby, right?
There is a good amount of rubble around, but it's mostly small mortared masonry bricks, old bits of sod, old wood. It would take a little while to assemble something capable of bearing the weight, let alone keeping it wide enough.
Did we bring the battering ram with us?
We did.
I mean, is it stupid enough to just keep that cocked into this gate so that way we can just... We don't have to.
We should probably get
as
it before
far.
we leave, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
This might be a bit of a crazy idea, but if we're on his home turf and he's got lots of minions and things like that, there's no telling what's going to happen when we enter that castle. You know, I mean, we leave something like the battering ram under there. There's no telling if, you know, he sends some ghouls or goblins to, like, snatch it out.
What about the carriage?
We'd have to get it across the drawbridge. Just that weight.
Is there enough masonry to prop it up just a foot or so that we could crawl under it later?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say yes. It would take you a good 10 minutes or so to appreciably pile it together, and that would run down the clock on Rory's telepathic bond. You do get the sense that work together, it's not incredibly difficult to open.
I mean, here's the thing. I think we should just know where this is and know that if there's at least a few of us here with maybe some enhanced ability stuff, we'd be able to get it open.
Yeah, that's sensible. In this way it blocks people who are going to sneak up behind us too.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
All right, let's leave it be then. Look at us dungeoneering.
I'm so proud. So, together you step into the next part of the courtyard and, with a grunt, let the portcullis fall, rattling with unseen chains before it slams once more to the ground, digging deep furrows and gouges in the earth and cracked stone. You step into a new segment of the grounds. This courtyard, northeast of the keep, is enclosed by towering walls. A stone carriage house with hinged wooden doors stands silent in the corner where the outer walls meet. Across from the carriage house, a slender wooden door reinforced with iron bands leads into the keep. You can see that the path around the courtyard continues further, I believe, southward into what seems to be another space toward the rear of the castle.
Further south, I think. There's nothing for us here.
Keep leading away, Ranger Randy.
For once, he doesn't scowl at you as he continues on.
And further south you continue. At the back of the keep, passing through a tall archway behind towering buttresses and tall, boarded-up stained glass windows, you see a small garden struggling to survive. Its small flowers press skyward against the gloom, and a pair of large iron gates blocks the way to some kind of familiar-looking overlook.
Is it? Do they look locked?
The gates do not look locked.
Then may I try and pull them open?
You certainly may, and as you do, they squeal loudly, complaining on rusted hinges as pulled open. But on the other side, you can see clearly that same stone balcony that you first saw the first time. Would you like to proceed forward?
Unless anyone has something they want to do in the garden, then yeah.
I say let's go for it.
Neat. Alright.
Passing forward, you can feel the rain as the dark clouds overhead drizzle constantly. The flagstone avenue passes between empty outbuildings, leading to the stone-paved overlook you saw before, its low stone wall adorned with outward-facing carvings of gargoyles. Davian coughs and passes off the coils of rope back to Erthrendir. Right. All yours, lad.
Yep. As Aerith is going to settle down and, preferably with the help of people who understand this sort of thing, start rigging up a rappelling line.
Amity will begin ritualing Detect Magic.
Okay. As you do, Davian will glance toward you and say, right, so I don't know if you want anyone to take a nip on down there and take a look to see what happens, but I don't mind taking a glance.
Please.
We need some wings in the air.
Thank you, Davian.
He nods. And with that, you watch as his skin begins to shimmer and change, molting into black feathers, his lips pressing together into that dark beak as the raven's form overcomes his humanoid shape once again. He pulls the sleeves of his hooded cloak far up over his shoulders, letting his wings, dark black plumage, a wingspan stretching as wide as he is tall on either side. He gives a nod. Right, anything I should look out for, or...
Enemies,
take a look.
Just see if there's anyone waiting for us, I think. And also how far down it is will help.
He snaps off a clumsy salute using one of his entire wings, and steps over to the overlook, shakes his head, muttering something quietly under his breath, and, wings spread, falls into the mist below.
Alright. Aerith's going to use his 2 climbers kits to set up a system where they can, you know, move down the cliff as far as the belaying equipment will extend, put in a new set, and then undo the first, gradually making their way downward.
Okay. It's not too long before Davian returns. Utterly sodden and covered with rain, he snorts and brushes off the moisture from the feathers as best he can. Right, so it's a little over 100 feet down, around 20 feet back. This whole thing juts out a little bit, so you're going to need to have a little help. Are you planning on swinging your way over there, where you need it attached directly?
That'd be nice.
Right. One thing you might need to know. I couldn't see through the windows, although I reckon I could probably get a better look with by scratching the dirt off. Didn't want to risk too much. But from what I can tell, there's no latches or nothing. If you're looking to get your way in, you're going to have to smash them.
Damn. Alright, guess we'll have to be loud then. Or, actually, he looks over at Metreon. You know, and Kiva to an extent, is there any way to get through a glass window quietly?
Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes, but if there's no like way to just open it cleanly, then usually not.
It's probably just something that we have to hope that the rain is louder than the shattering of glass.
I knew I should have bought acid for something. All right.
Wait, acid. And Metron turns towards Lillison.
Would that
Lillison
work?
raises an eyebrow. I've never heard of acid melting glass, but I mean, I already know that I can certainly get on the inside without breaking the glass, and it's just a matter of how to get the rest of you through.
Point taken. We might just need to risk the breakage then. And yeah.
Okay. So you're able to rig it up. Davian is happy to try
Help
to
us
guide the
down.
line to, just glossing over the fine details just because, unlike
we've got
Engineer,
the
I'm not an
time.
Eagle Scout. Yeah.
Yes.
I would say that you're able to get the rope into a position where you feel comfortable that you'll be able to swing over to the actual side of the mountain and rappel down from there.
All right.
You have
In
all
that
the
case-
materials you need.
He'll give the rest of his friends a wry salute, hook himself up, and start climbing down.
Okay. And climb down you do, inch by inch, foot by foot, occasionally struggling to gain the leverage and solidity needed to avoid slipping on the slick stones of the mountainside.
I've got boot spurs. They're part of the climber's kit.
Oh, true. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a pleasant experience.
For sure.
And as you look down, you can actually see a flash of lightning illuminating the dismal village of Barovia. You can just see its rooftops faintly visible above the smothering blanket of fog a full 1,000 feet below you. A long way down.
Yeah. Once Aerith gets to the window, he's gonna build up some momentum on the rope, and then once he has it swinging a bit, he's going to use his feet to try and kick it in.
Okay. You find yourself eventually, after around, I'll say 5 minutes of climbing, facing the stone construction protruding from the cliff face, the familiar dirt-caked windows facing outward toward the east. You pull yourself back and forth, trying to get enough momentum and velocity, and then hauling forward, boots forward, with the soundtrack from Indiana Jones playing in the back of your head.
Who?
Crash through the stained glass windows, or at least the front one, that crunches, shattering into thousands of tiny crystalline pieces all across the floor, and landing on the opposite side.
Aerith is quite a picture as he lands. Combat boots, robe of useful items, and evening gown billowing him around him as he kind of tucks and rolls.
Tucks, rolls, and lands in a new chamber entirely. This tomb that you find yourself in rests in hushed silence. Tall, stained glass windows dominate the eastern walls, allowing dim light to fall on 2 coffins resting atop white marble slabs. The one against the north wall is marked King Bear von Zarevich, and the one against the south wall marked Queen Ravenovia van Royen.
We did not just crash into his parents' tomb.
Oh, shit.
You absolutely did.
No.
Oh, and just for Metrion's sake, the vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead is inlaid with a beautiful golden mosaic.
Oh, pretty.
Outside, the rain continues to fall, slamming, thundering. There's a cold wind that howls through the chamber now, the silence broken by the smashed window that has now been deposited in thousands of tiny little glistening, glittering piles, now wet with moisture across the floor. Behind you hear the flapping of large wings as Davian peers in and says, "Right, I hope that didn't wake anything up."
You hear a telepathic, "Oh no."
What did you do?
This is...
This is parents' tomb.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. I mean, these last names, right? I mean, is it...
Barov, like Barovia, I think. And Ravonia? Interesting. I'll drive a python in and tie the rope off, but I'll get y'all down here. Just, if when he finds out, he's gonna be furious.
Yeah, Metron's actually gonna go over towards the lady's coffin. Just gonna hang out by there for a moment.
All right, so you're going to climb down after Erthrendir and join him, and I guess the other one of you are going to one by one kind of rappel down the rope into the place where the Python's been driven in.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right, Davian watching to make sure that none of you fall to your untimely deaths. But each of you do arrive eventually in this chamber. What was Metron doing?
So he's going to go ahead and check out one of the coffins. I think for what was her name? Ravenovia.
Yes, Ravenovia Van Royen. There, it is a closed coffin.
Is there like any hinges or anything like that?
There does. It does appear to be openable if you'd like to desecrate a coffin.
I would actually, and I'd like to do it as sneakily as possible.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check. What's everyone else doing while that's happening?
Lamenting the fact that Metron doesn't have a coffin key, so he wouldn't actually be able to get that open.
Well, with the 25, how do we feel about that?
So the sleight of hand is just to do it sneakily, not to open it. It's unlocked. Right. You kind of peer open, kind of peeking inside just a little bit, and you can see a dark skeleton, just cast in shadow, lying silently in the interior. There is a tattered white shroud covering the bones.
So I'm gonna
jewels?
Are they like bejeweled, kind of like those?
Were they buried with jewelry? Is like the question.
Metron you do not see any jewelry in the coffin. Just a tattered white shroud covering aged bones.
I will very quickly peel back the shroud, and I'm going to take the queen's skull and very quickly stuff it into my bag.
Okay. And with that sleight of hand, I'll say nobody saw you.
Cool.
Erthrendir, and anyone else who's looking around at the tomb, looking ahead, you can see wide steps ascending to a landing flanked by two alcoves. Within each alcove, taking up the full 30-foot height of the ceiling, is a bronze statue of a warrior holding a spear. A soft blue curtain of light flows between the two alcoves, and dimly visible on the other side of the curtain are more ascending stairs. Amity, your detect magic is now active. You can detect magic within the curtain. If you'd like, you can focus and figure out more about its nature.
Okay, yeah. I was imagining Amity should go in a tail end because I don't know if she can ritual cast while climbing a rope.
She would need to finish that first. So yes.
Yeah. But now that that's up, Amity's going to point out to everyone over telepathy that it looks like there's some kind of magic rectangle between the statues. Did I get a school or not?
Using your action to focus in on it, you do in fact detect that it carries an aura of abjuration magic.
It is obviously abjuration.
As well as, I believe, a hint of conjuration.
So what does that mean? Is that if we go through it, it's going to trigger something?
Abjuration's protection. It means it's a shield or a veil of some sort. Probably to stop folks from doing what we just did.
Or to keep something from coming out?
Or that. Although if Barov starts rising from the grave, I will be quite satisfied to put him back. Let me just be ready to catch me if I get blasted 50 feet back or something. Aerith will gingerly ascend the stairs. And once he gets to the curtain, he's going to draw Rahadin's scimitar and sort of poke at it with it gingerly.
The scimitar parts the curtain. Nothing occurs. It just comes out the other side. The magic seems unperturbed, but the scimitar seems unharmed.
He holds his breath and gingerly sticks a pinky finger in.
The pinky finger passes through without harm.
Doesn't appear to be doing anything to me. Don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
What
Maybe it...
And he will step through.
It's too late now. I was just wondering what if that calls him to where we are.
All right.
We won't know till we find out.
Yeah.
Kiva just looks at Amity like, well...
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, we're fucked!
I guess we're fucked. Oh, by the way, were there any difficulties in repelling Radin's corpse down here? Or is that fine?
I would say that if you wanted to strap him back onto your back again, you could do that.
All right, we're all good then.
Aerith will try and walk back through to see what to try and regroup.
That cancels the summon.
As you pass through the curtain, you feel a strange chill to the air around you. There's a whispering of blue, where the curtain seems to almost push forward, and then you blink and you vanish, appearing at the top of the stairs, looking down toward the curtain. It seems to have teleported you.
Oh. Alright, y'all. Some to know. It appears once we go through, we can't come back.
So this isn't a valid way out?
Not anymore.
Oh, alright. Well, I guess we should make sure that we take the climbers' kits and everything with us then.
Maybe. Although if push comes to shove, I could always try and dispel this. I just don't want to waste the spell slots right now. I say we leave them. I have 300 more feet of rope and a spare climber's kit.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. But I would like as many escape options as we have possible.
Very well. I don't like the idea of being here and needing to find a new way out.
Yeah, just grab whatever you need in there, I think, because we'll not be coming back. I wonder why I could go through one way but not the other. That's perverse.
Is there anything in this room, you know, obviously this clearly isn't the tomb of a guild member looking at Strahd's parents, but is there anything in this room that sort of stands out as like particularly noteworthy or something to like look further at?
I mean, looking through the room, there's the 2 coffins, but other than the coffins, not much to see here.
2 completely untouched coffins.
Completely untouched.
Absolutely untouched.
No one's even thought of touching those coffins.
Nope.
All right. Yeah. With a look to the others, sort of just confirming that this is the right move, he will go through the curtain.
Before passing through the curtain, Amity will briefly inspect one of the statues to see if there's some kind of mechanism on it that, like, switches the curtain. Or if it, like, is generating the curtain somehow.
Make a perception check for me.
Perception check incoming. That's somehow a 20.
Woo!
Looking up and down, they are just sheer carved statues. As far as you can tell, there's no indication of any buttons, latches, mechanisms, just a shimmering veil of magical light.
So is the rest of us just going through then?
Yeah, if you're ready.
Matron looks at Davian just with this look of, what are we doing?
Davian shrugs and gestures forward as if to say, after you.
Metron gives a deep and heavy sigh and pulls back his hood, revealing a damp white mohawk, and is going to go ahead and follow the others.
Allow me to demonstrate optimal movement, Amity jokes as she steps through the curtain and then immediately takes a step back to teleport to the top of the staircase.
Oh shit, we gotta get that one on the speed run. Holy fuck.
Queen shit.
As you do, Irina like shoots you a grin, and then tries to emulate it. And as she does, she's actually steps to the curtain. She doesn't teleport.
Wait, what?
What?
Quay?
What?
Irina?
Ring it?
Kiva looks at her with wild eyes, like, what was that?
She blinks. I don't know it. I was trying to do the thing that Amity did. I guess it doesn't work.
Or maybe, for some reason, he'd allow you into this tomb again.
Oh, that's
Again?
ominous.
Oh no.
Ismark frowns and steps forward, and then tries to step through the curtain. And does, without teleporting.
What?
And
Perhaps it's a thing native to people born here?
That's what I'm thinking. Davian, do you want to try?
He snorts, shrugs. You watch as the feathers kind of shrink into his body, his beak turning back into a normal human face. All right, fine. If you're looking to experiment and waste more time, why not? And he steps on through, as if expecting to teleport, and then steps onto the other side.
To prevent foreign grave robbers, maybe.
Yeah, only natives. That's fascinating.
Well, because why would a native who knows what Strahd's about try to break in and steal anything? They know what the punishment is. Only
But-
outsiders would be reckless enough, right?
Strahd wasn't born here, was he?
Well, you know, wouldn't be the first time someone likes to pretend that they're better than they are.
Metreon is going to go ahead and try to step through, gripping his bag, in particular the skull that he can feel inside, close to his hip,
Ooh.
and is going to go try and walk through.
So what exactly are you trying to do here that's different?
Just trying to, nothing different.
Just walking through?
Walking through with the skull in my bag, just kind of like holding it,
Right.
concealing it from everybody else, but like just making sure that it stays there or is still there.
All right. You walk through and are slung back to the top of the stairs.
Well, here we go.
Would Aerith know of anything possible that could cause this?
Make an Arcana check.
Yes, sir. DM? That's
Yep.
a 30.
It seems to be some sort of protective mechanism trap thing. It's difficult to tell exactly what the nature is. By virtue of its studying, it seems that there's some sort of trigger that
I got a 30
Davy and
drag
Irina
that.
and Ismark all share. I mean, it's not like this is a a necklace of fireballs or something. This is a custom designed magic item that someone bought off of Etsy. It's a powerful enchantment. It seems to be able to detect some sort of subtle element or attribute of those that pass through and selectively apply its enchantment. But without further testing, you can't tell exactly what it is.
In the name of further testing, Lillison is going to step through and then try to step back through.
Lillison's immediately slung back to the top.
Yep.
I guess the native Barovian theory is the best one we have right now, but that is a weird thing for a magic item to realize. Well, I guess that's good to know. That means you four have an escape route if need be. For now, though, should we get moving?
Oh, wait, 4?
3, sorry, misspoke.
Let's remember what we're here for. Try to get it done as quick as possible.
Right.
Lillison glances at Ez.
Or does you mean for her to catch your glimpse?
Just, looking speculatively over at Ez and then at the curtain.
As catches your glance, shrugs, and steps to the curtain, and is violently flung to the top of the stairs.
That's my Mistwalker GF.
Well, yes, as you say, we should continue on.
Yep.
Yeah, time on detect magic's running, so I
Right,
guess while
let's get
I'm
moving.
ritual, yeah.
Okay.
And
And I will say that Rary's telepathic bond lasts for an hour, right?
Yeet.
Oh yeah, it's nowhere near over.
I mean, by this point, I'd say it's around a third over.
Sure.
So, all stepping through the curtain and ascending the stairs to the opposite side, you look forward regarding the vast chamber that lies before you. Buried deep beneath the keep of Ravenloft lie ancient catacombs, with arched ceilings supported by wide, hollow columns that double as crypts. Cobwebs hang limp in the musty air. A thick fog clings to the floor, which is covered in putrid water and waste. And the black ceiling is moving.
It smells like bat shit down here. Like really bad bat shit.
It's like a fireball spell times 1,000.
So wait, this looks like crypts, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what
we're looking for, yeah.
Right? Yeah, just fucking crypts. So, I mean, how do we want to do this? You know, time's of essence. Do we split up? Do we keep together?
I vote we split up. Let's
keep in our groups of two and move that way.
Yeah, there look to be several hallways. Let's each take a hallway, look for anything interesting. If we find some, open it up, see what's inside, search, but be careful. Because if there's not an undead around here, I will owe all of you 50 gold.
I'm not even worried about undead so much as any more potential magical traps like... And she glances at the curtain. Could be a lot less gentle than that one.
Yeah. Let's be careful.
Kiva and Irina can take this first door on the left, I guess.
Yeah, and
feel free to move yourselves wherever you'd like. This is a open battle map.
Free roam.
I can't.
So if everyone would like to move themselves to where they'd like to begin their search, Irina will move to where Kiva is. Looking at our order, Amity and Ismark are together. So Amity, where would you like to go?
Amity's moving up to this door opposite it. Are there any distinguishing markings on any of these doors?
We'll get there in a second.
We're so excited!
Yeah,
I'm excited. I love
Please, I don't want to go
with Lillison. And Esmeralda, as per the buddy system, is with Erthrindir.
Yep.
Okay. So... the first ones to notice something are Amity and Kiva. And Amity, you still have your Detect Magic spell up?
Of course. Amity plans on jogging between the groups somewhat to, yeah.
Sure. So I'll assume that Amity's kind of jogging around as... well, would you rather circulate or would you rather go in line? Because you have to choose one. If you wanted to use Detect Magic, you get it on your own crypts. If you want to do it for the group, you're going to have to move around and go a little bit slower.
I'll just open this one first. I mean, when it's my turn.
Yeah, smart.
Kind of look at it. All right, so first off, Kiva. The one that you see has, first off, well, each of you pass below into these catacombs beneath the 10-foot wide arched walkways that run between these spaces, which appear to contain 10-foot square crypts, themselves serving as pillars that support the ceiling 20-foot high above. As you approach the crypts, you see that each one appears to be sealed with a chiseled stone door of sorts, a tight-fitting stone slab around 3 feet across, 5 feet tall, and seemingly relatively thick, though you think that with some elbow grease, you could probably move one. Kiva. The crypt that you find bears an epitaph carved into the stone, reading, Sasha Ivliskova, wife. Amity, as you approach your crypt of choice, you find that etched into the epitaph of the stone just above the door reads simply, Erthrindir Iariel.
Oh, this one with your name on it, Erthrindir.
I'm sorry, what?
You hear each other's voices echoing through the dank stone catacomb tunnels.
Let's remember to
By now you're
use
around 30 feet apart.
telepathy,
No,
guys.
it's not echoing.
Oh,
this is
you're using
telepathy.
telepathy. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, yes, it echoes
Erthrindir was
telepathically.
yelling. Right, sorry, just start. Oh.
Is there one for each of us?
I mean, they must be right. This must be new, Amity says, running her finger over the carved words. I'm kind of honored that he would put all this up in advance.
I mean,
Very
that
nice
is
of him to give us our own tombs, at least.
That or it's just another illusion. I mean, I remember seeing my face back at Arkenvost. You know, it could just be one of them kind of ghostly illusion things. Something to piss us off.
Well, it succeeds.
Opens the door.
Yeah, Kiva and Irina can also start pushing theirs aside.
Are you looking to open them?
Yeah.
Irina's just kind of look at you and say, "Do we sure we want to just open these? I mean, I don't know if what we're looking for is inside. Do we want to take a look around first?"
Well, that works as well. If we want to try to get a lay of the land first, and then try to narrow down which might be what we're looking for.
True, and especially because, well, I imagine that not all of the people buried here can be bad, right? So, I don't think we want to disturb them.
So let's maybe move straight down this side of the corridor and keep checking.
All right. And she will follow you as you move. As Amity tries to open the door, give me a strength check. Metreon, Lulus, and Earthrendir, where are y'all at? Are you looking at the ones that you're near?
Yes.
Lillison's gonna try to go around this corner.
All right. The corner does not attack you.
Good. I'm glad.
I would like to do I'd like to at least check for any kind of traps that might be on the door before I open
Make
it.
a perception check. And as you're doing that, Earthrendir, you inspect your door, and you see it reads, Elsa Felona von Twitterberg, beloved actor. She had many followers.
I guess there are actors' guilds, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like there's a guild for everything, right?
All right. In that case, Ez, you mind helping me get this open? Or I help you, more accurately.
She nods and will give you an effort. As she makes a strength check, what was Amity's? You're rolling with
21.
advantage because Ismark's helping. Okay, great.
I don't need the advantage.
She don't need
Amity,
no man.
You and Esmeralda roll together as Metreon attempts to perceive the space before him. So let me roll for Esmeralda.
Yeah, Aerith will give her the help action.
All right. Working together, you manage to budge it open easily enough, especially Amity, with working without Ismark's help. So first, Metreon, you look ahead and discern no traps to be in evidence.
All right, then I'm opening.
Earthrendir, as you peer ahead, you see a skeleton draped in rags, lying atop a marble slab in the center of this crypt. 9 shallow alcoves are carved into the surrounding walls, and the back wall of each alcove is painted with a full-body image of a handsome-looking man. Some of the men wear fine clothes, others wear armor, and at the feet of each painting rests a skull atop a pile of bones.
Oh, that's morbid. Oh, interesting. So it's like a different burial. So she was buried with her lovers or husbands or whatever permutation happened here. That... No bottles, though. Think this one's a bust.
As you glance inside and mutter those words, Amity, as soon as you crack open the slab to the interior of the crypt within, a terrible stench of death and decay infuses the air around you, causing you to choke and almost gag. Looking within, in the darkness, you see a corpse lying on a marble slab at the center of the crypt, perfectly resembling Earthrendir, his eyes closed, his body silent and unmoving, pale in death.
Amity sort of puts a hand to her mouth. Does she detect magic?
You do not detect magic in here.
Amity's gonna close that door right up. Earthrendir, you're still fine over there, right?
Yeah, just found a woman and her apparent husbands. What was in there? Was it empty?
Yeah, it was just empty.
Okay, good. Thank God. I'm gonna move on, I think.
Okay, while that's happening, Kiva, the one that you read, says, Artemis, builder of the keep, thou standest amidst the monument to his life. Metreon, the one that you see, reads, Baron Isglaze Druf.
Baron, I mean, something important, right? And I'll open up the door.
Kiva looks over to Irina and just says, does that mean this place?
think that it might.
All right, this one seems like one we might want to open then.
Sure. Do we want to take a heave at it now?
I think we should.
Seems that the others are doing the same.
I think we should.
All right then. And if you'd like to make a strength check with advantage, Metreon, same for you if you'd like to heave it open.
Or what's Davian's strength?
Not great.
Mine isn't either. I will give him advantage.
Okay.
That's a 20 for me.
Davian rolls a 15. And together you heave it aside. So, Kiva, heaving the door to the crypt open, you see a simple skeleton draped in rags, lying atop a marble slab in the center of the crypt. There seems to be nothing more of interest inside.
Can she... Is that just like with a cursory look, or is there like possibly a perception check that can be made to...
You could spend a little longer if you'd like. Just know that the clock is ticking for Amity's ritual spells. She'll have to renew them at some point.
She'll keep this one open. Like, she won't close it back up just in case we can circle back. But she'll move on to the next one, I guess.
Okay. Metreon, as you look within yours, opening the door causes the air around you to turn as cold as the coldest hell you can imagine. Every surface inside the crypt that you can see is just covered with thick, brownish mold.
Do I see anything else, or is it just empty and moldy?
It is empty and moldy. There is the slab in the center, but it is just covered in mold. It's freezing like the Arctic. It's not much you can see here.
Oh, shit. Only Lillison would be better at this.
Oh, and actually, let me check something real quick.
We're immune to poison. We're immune to poison.
This ain't poison, kids.
This ain't poison.
Oh, it's the brown... Oh, fuck.
So, I will need
Brownies?
Metreon and Davian to both make Constitution saving throws.
Oh my
Cool,
God.
love that
Come
for
on,
us.
Baby. Come on, baby.
Davian fails.
17.
17, you succeed. You take 10 points of cold damage. Davian takes 20.
Shit.
Davian immediately stumbles back with a yelp, looking at his frost-bitten hands as you see actually part of his face is almost frozen with ice crystals, the heat drawn out of it dramatically. Each of you hears a startled yelp as Davian stumbles back and almost falls ass over a tea kettle, looking at the purplish throbbing of the tips of his fingers as the cold air extrudes from the interior of the crypt.
Aerith rushes over.
I'll shut the door.
Where are they?
Metron, you'll need another strength check to shut the door.
Okay.
Or you can just step back. It's up to you. What's it going to be, Metreon?
It's going to be a 10 on the strength check.
All right. I'm going to need you to make another con save for me.
Oh, no. That's a 16.
16. You take 7 points of cold damage.
Awesome.
And by this point, Erthrindir has rushed over.
Yeah,
Corellian's mercy, what happened to you?
Amity will also rush.
Holy shit, frostbite. What's in there?
I don't know. It's just so cold, and there's also like this brown mold everywhere. It's just.
You know what I'm gonna ask, Dragna.
Do you want to make a... oh, Dungeoneering's not a check anymore. Do you want to make a nature check?
I do.
Go ahead. As you do, Lillison, you're by that crypt to the north, right? You haven't moved at all?
I am standing here, had been looking at the door and now kind of tilting my head, assuming that most of this conversation is going on telepathically.
Yes, you've been listening to the group chat. I will say that you've read the epitaph, which reads, Sir Cedric Spinwidovich, Admiral Spinwidovich, confused though he was, he built the greatest naval force ever assembled in a landlocked country.
Ooh.
Wilson narrows her eyes and decides to move on.
Understandable. Ismark will also go jogging over, Esmeralda following.
As Aerith has a 23 on that nature check.
Okay, this is brown mold. It feeds on warmth, drawing heat from anything around it. If you were close, it will actively draw the heat out of your body and freeze you. It is immune to fire. Any source of fire brought within it instantly causes it to expand toward the fire. The only way to destroy it is to freeze it or chill it somehow.
Oh, and we need to get within range to close it. As Casimir, either of y'all have a frost cantrip of some sort?
Casimir is not with you, but you're asking in the group chat?
Yeah, group chat.
Casimir says, I have a spell that is capable of freezing things, but I would prefer not to expend such resources.
All right, well, we've got to neutralize this to get the slab out. Ez, you got anything?
Esmeralda shakes her head.
Sorry, why do we want to get the slab out? Can't we just leave? Amity's starting to jog, by the way, around, looking in the crypts other people have opened to see if there's magic.
You sense some sort of magic inside of the crypt. You're not sure where it is, you're not sure where it's coming from, but something in that crypt is magical.
Oh, action to focus?
You can't see it. You can't get a school of magic. You're not sure where it's coming from, you just feel that there's magic coming from that direction.
Alright, I don't know if brown mold is just magical, but there's something magical in there. See ya. Amity jogs off toward the other crypts.
Wait, it's not magical inherently, which means there's... It might be what we... What does this tome say? Yeah, what's this person say? What's his name?
It says Baron Eisglaze-Droof.
Well, I can hardly think there'd be a second booby trap compounded on the first booby trap. I'm going to try and neutralize this. Y'all all right with that?
Wait.
Yeah?
Lillison is going to walk over towards where everybody else is.
While this is happening, I just want to say that I am at once both kind of happy and so upset that I can't say the DM's eternal refrain, "You're not there, you can't talk about this," because you're all telepathically there.
We're all there.
We are all here.
Way to one-up the DM. Various telepathic bond just says, no, screw you, DM. No matter where we are, we can talk about tactics.
So as Lillison gets closer, is there any point at which she starts being like, actually, this is pretty cold?
I mean, once you get within like 10 feet or so of the door, like you can certainly feel the chill to the air. I mean, from looking at Davian and Metron, it seems to be a pretty severe chill. Looking into the crypt, it's just coated in this brown mold. If there's anything in there, it's hidden somewhere. All right, you're casting Mage Hand?
Yeah.
All right, the Mage Hand appears. What would you like to do with it?
Lillison will send the Mage Hand in and start just like patting down the walls and the floor.
All right. I will say that unfortunately the brown mold is pretty thick. You're not going to be able to find much. Like you take a few minutes just kind of patting around, but unfortunately there's not really. You don't really feel anything obvious. If there's anything here, it's deep under the brown mold.
Okay.
As she does,
like it is like a thick shag 70s carpet.
Flipping through his spell book, and the more he does, the more his frown grows, and he kind of calls back to Amity. Hey, what specific part of the floor did you feel the magic?
I couldn't get a direction on it, so I think it was under something, like, hidden.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a clear ping, it's just there was magic coming from the crypt. Without having anything visible, there's not much more you can detect.
Aerith groans and looks at Lillison. You don't happen to have any ice cantrips, do you?
No, not ice.
Damn it. All right. Well, I'm about to do something very stupid.
What are you going to do?
As Aerith... Too late, he has stepped forward.
Oh dear.
Oh jeez.
Lillison's Mage Hand grabs Aerith lightly by the wrist.
I have a spell that can clear this stuff away. It's just going to be a little painful.
When you say a little painful, do you mean that you shouldn't be standing there, or do you mean that all of us shouldn't be
I mean, y'all should back up about 10 feet.
And God, tell me twice. And then, yeah, Metron's still on his bum, just kind of scuttles into a corner.
And then Aerith's going to draw rod and scimitar and step forward into the tomb as quickly as he can.
Okay, as you do, I need you to make a con save.
All right. That is a 12.
You take 8 points of cold damage.
No, I take 4, as Aerith condenses the cold in the air, magic swirling around him, and he channels it into Rahadin's sword, rime frost creeping up the blade, as he casts Absorb Elements, and then slashes out with the freezing sword at the mold.
Work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which part of the mold? There's a lot of mold in this chamber.
On the floor.
Okay. You slash at the floor. Give me a attack roll.
Yes, sir. 8.
8.
It is a stationary object.
True, but it's thick. Like, this is a thick carpet of interlocking spores and tendrils and mycelia, and it is frozen solid in several places. You kind of chip off top of it, but you immediately feel the cold biting and gnawing at your wrists and limbs.
To be clear, did I deal damage to it or no?
No.
Oh, in that case, he's going to grit his teeth and take another swing.
All right, go for it. Do you have a multi-attack, or are you taking a
No,
turn?
I'm just taking another turn.
Okay, in that case, first make a con save for me.
Yes, sir. 16.
16?
Yes.
All right, that's another success.
And a 19.
You take 27. Sorry, no.
I'm sorry?
Cold damage. 13
Okay,
cold
how long
damage.
does Absorb Elements maintain? I need to check something.
I believe it's just one turn, like shield.
Yeah, I think it's an action or reaction.
Would you like to keep burning through your first level spell slots?
Hold on a second. Until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next. At this point, he's just bitter. Yes, he will. He's mad.
Okay.
And he just fucking lashes out again. That's a 19 to hit.
That will hit.
For 7 slashing and 6 cold damage.
Okay, 6 points of cold damage. You bring the Scimitar slashing down, blazing with the icy white chill of the absorbed cold, and as it does, you watch as the entire black mold, already frozen somewhat solid, stiffens. A crystalline sheen spreading across its surface, and the entire patch of it shatters into tiny crystalline shards.
If there's still mold on the walls, then he's just going to look as quickly as he can beneath it and then book.
Yeah, there seems to be no mold left, but looking inside, you do see... Actually, no, I lied. It is... The chill immediately leaves the chamber, but the mold is still there. It is frozen, it is chilled, it is moldy, but the...
It is not trying to kill me any further.
Correct. It's still cold, but the icebox effect is slowly fading. You feel like you can probably start digging through it on a better timetable.
Y'all, please get in here. My hands hurt. My everything hurts.
Lillison does not get in there, but she starts shooting acid splashes inside.
1 second, honey. Amity's just... I don't know where this is in the jog, but after she left this chamber, she jogged around to see if there was any hint of magic in the thing that Irene and Kiva just opened.
Even in the cold, you can see a scarlet blush as that happens.
So, Amity, you do not see any magic vibes in any of the crypts that have been inspected so far.
What about these two? Oh, are you not checking those yet?
Any that's already been opened, because I imagine that Detect Magic's running out pretty fast. Dragna, is that right? Or
it lasts for how long?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Yeah, it's just about on the end of it right now.
If you guys are okay with it, Kiva also has a detect magic feature that doesn't burn spell slots, so she can take care of these 2 crypts over here.
There's no better time for it, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
well, if Amity's already checked those 2.
I don't think she's checked the last 2 that no one's been to yet. The one across from Kiva and down.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, if she's already checked the ones that you and Irina have already checked, then I think that, yeah, you can probably spend yours to check on the ones that we haven't checked on.
Great.
Cool. Then, meanwhile, once Amity's done with the jog and the spell wears off, she'll start recasting it while tepidly walking back over to the digging operation.
Okay.
But before that, she'll announce to everyone, I'm recasting it, so if there's any crypts you open and want to check later, then just remember where they are, okay? It'll take 10 minutes.
All right.
Be careful.
Kiva will go across and use her magic awareness.
All right. You're using this in what area? Sorry, I'm just trying to follow where you are. Oh, in that crypt.
Yeah, the one
does
directly
magic awareness
across.
only cover things that you can see, or is it anything within range?
It says location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. Does that mean that it can't see through the crypts itself?
Yeah, it can't see through walls.
Oh, okay.
Well, can you do it after opening stuff and then like?
Yeah, that works too. Yeah. So I'll just retcon that I'm doing it before and check the crypt first, and then
Sure. So I'll say that, given that you're not operating under any urgency, Kiva, working with Irina, you're able to haul the crypt door open. Actually, did I even describe what the epitaph was, or are we just?
You did not. We'd like to know the epitaphs first. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes. So this epitaph just reads Sir Eric Vonderbucks.
Maybe we'll save that one for last if we can't find anything, and just move on until we find something that works.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Irina says.
Yeah. So she will continue down to this next one and see how that goes.
Okay. While that's happening, is everyone sticking with Erthrindir, or are they spreading out? What's going on here? Because Erthrindir is digging in the mold, and I presume Ez is sticking with him.
Earth is retreated to put on his robe and his climber's gloves and his bundle up as much as possible. He is blue.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, Metreon's gonna go with Davian, but I figure he'd at least want to see what comes out of the crypt that just almost destroyed both of them. So
Davian's teeth are still chattering. He's madly rubbing his fingers together.
Oh yeah, no.
I hope whatever the fucking hell you got out of there was worth it.
Me too.
Right, same.
If this is like a veteran's cane or something, I am going to stab someone with it.
What's a veteran's cane?
It's like a magic sword stick, essentially. One that doesn't rattle all around. That would be... Yeah?
She sends another acid splash, like, right near Erthrindir's head at the mold behind him.
Hey, watch the hair. I actually got it did nicely for this.
You... Alright.
Look, if I'm gonna die, I want to look pretty.
Yes, but then you jogged through a rainstorm.
Earth is stubbornly not looking at her. Fine.
Someone just opened the bloody crypt then.
It's open. Help me dig.
I can't feel my fingertips.
Me neither.
Well, that makes you then. You're digging.
There is a single slightly blue raised middle finger, and then he keeps digging into the muck.
All right, as you do, Kiva, you come to 2 crypts facing off from one another at the very end of this hallway. And as you look forward, you can actually see a stone shaft rising up from the south end, stairs ascending up into darkness to a higher level. But the 2 crypts at the very beginning of this corridor, left and right. First, the one that you're standing next to reads Petrina Velikovna, Bride. The one across from it has the stone door carefully laid to the side, and through the swirly mists of the fog, you can see that freshly engraved letters spell out the words on the opposite side's door, Irina Kolyana, wife.
Ooh.
Kiva looks at Irina and just puts a hand on her shoulder, but does sort of, again, forgetting the telepathy for a minute, just go, Casimir. Casimir.
Are you calling for him telepathically or just calling out?
No,
for him?
she's like yelling for him. Like,
okay, yeah, he's not. Yeah, okay. He will hear you, and will kind of amble over and say, telepathically, "Wow, what is it?"
I think I found your sister.
He is immediately visible and then swiftly walking as quickly as he can while retaining some kind of dignity. He looks over toward you regarding the epitaph and says quietly, "Do you mind if and he just kind of reaches out to touch the stone door.
Of course. Let me know when you're ready to move it, and I'll help you.
He nods. Thank you. I reckon that it might be best to wait until we find what we're looking for down here, and then we'll all be wrapped and ready, and then I'll do it.
Of course. If you need a moment with her, I'll back up.
Thank you. I'll let you know when I'm ready to open it. We'll be back here, I'm sure.
Is there anything in the Irina crypt other than mist?
Looking inside, it seems to be empty, and unlike the area around it, seems to have been recently swept clean.
She will use her magic awareness on this open one just to be sure that there's not like some sort of trap in there or something.
No triggers of magic. Nothing that you can see. Just seems to be an empty crypt. Well kept and waiting.
Can she close the door?
Sure. I'll say you can. You kind of have to heave the door up, but you're able to move it in place, grunting, grinding across the stone floor, and slam it shut.
All right. Kiva will then sort of like pick up a stone on the floor and look at Irina and just begin carving "not on your life" on the front stone.
Irina offers a tight smile. You can see that she's keeping her distance from the crypt, but you can tell that the gesture's appreciated.
Yeah. And then she'll give Casimir some space and just wait here.
All right. Casimir will just stand in front of it, laying his hand quietly on the cool stone engravings in the crypt door. I just stand there for a bit while everyone else does their thing.
You done digging yet?
I would be done quicker if I had to help.
And at that point, as the scimitar is carving through the moldy crust of the brown mold atop the central slab, you hit something, you feel something crunch beneath the weight.
I think I got it. And he just gropes blindly beneath the mold to see if he can snag onto something.
Lillison sends forth her mage hand to help.
The mage hand assisting, you kind of slowly peel back the crust, digging through the interlocking webs of spores and mold. The first thing, you see the thing that had crunched beneath the scimitar, its head now crushed inward, cracks spreading across it. An ancient skull, dead eye sockets staring up toward the ceiling. But beneath it, just very faintly, you can see the faint sheen of a golden bronze bit of metal, just poking up very slightly from where it's laying across the slab next to the bones.
Earth groans and mentally vows to come back and cast Mending on the skull if we are alive at the end of this, and then, with Lawson's mage hand's help, attempts to extract whatever this is.
All right, pulling it free. It takes a bit of wiggling and a bit of strength to haul it loose, and then the mold comes up, ripping it up from the lower parts of the slab with a spray of dirt and earthy roots. And then you see, lying there, a thin, sharp, etched steel blade attached to a hilt and guard of wrought golden bronze, painted with deep emerald greens. The guard inlaid with a glittering emerald, and in 3 places along the hilt you see lustrous white diamonds, one of which is glimmering with a faint crystalline light.
No.
That's mine. Thank you. I just, hand it over. It's all right. Yeah. It looks great. Please? Yeah.
Does Aerith know what this is?
He does not, but you may attempt to identify it over the course of a short rest.
Does he have... Well, he knows it's magic. That's fair enough.
Yes.
As Aerith yanks it free of the cold and brings it into the light so the party can see. It's some sort of magic sword. What type of sword is it?
Yeah.
It is a longsword.
Magic longsword looks like, and beautiful too. Look at the engraving on this. And the diamonds and the emerald. Gosh.
No, you're lucky I can't wield no long swords properly.
As well, almost none of us can, besides Mark and Kiva.
Maybe, I don't know, give it to Ismark so he has something nice to have when he's all...
Let's make sure this isn't horribly cursed first.
Oh, yeah. I forget myself in here, I call it a brain freeze.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Just don't touch it with your bear scan if you can help it.
Oh, wait, can I... And Lilison reaches out for it.
With your hand? With her mage hand or her hand?
Her real hand.
We don't have a remove curse if this goes bad.
She shrugs.
Alright. He hands it off to her.
Let me double check something.
Oh? I'm intrigued.
She takes it, sort of gently closes her fingers around it, and then swings it once and comes up into a surprisingly good-looking stance.
Lilison? I didn't know you'd had the training.
Well, I've been trying.
Ismark grins at you.
Well then. Ed, you don't feel any horrible curses happening? Anything shivering down your spine?
I mean, nothing more than usual.
That was what I was trying not to say. Well then. For now, keep it on you.
Yeah, I mean, green is really more your colour than it is mine. So, I mean, just enjoy it for now, and then after that, just give it to me.
Very well. You can take it off of my ice-cold corpse, if you wish.
I mean, I prefer it to be, living and...
Still ice-cold.
Yeah, well, it's a given.
Yes.
Speaking of which...
Rules question. May Amity talk while ritual casting through telepathy, or would the verbal components of the ritualing get in the way of that?
Make an intelligence check for me. It's not going to have real mechanical impact, but just for the sake of seeing if Amity can pull it off. Splitting your attention into two separate streams of consciousness is difficult.
13.
I'm going to say no. Sorry.
Understood.
Well, up one magic sword, down some amount of frostbite. I guess we should keep looking.
Right, yeah, I mean, fuck.
Yeah, no, that stung. After we find this thing, I vote we huddle up and find somewhere safe to breathe a little, make sure we're in fighting fit before we deal with Strahd.
Safe, bro. That's a brilliant choice of words here. Davian, I see a door down here, and Metron's gonna stomp on over, looking very hurt and disappointed that he got blasted by cold.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is everyone splitting off again, or is Metron just storming off? Davian will move to catch up with him.
Aerith will split off with Ez, but not before giving Amity a fond look. Good idea on that detect magic. We never would have found that otherwise.
Amity nods as she continues spilling out the syllables of the spell.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And as you do, Metron, as you're jogging southward, you come across a crypt that is missing its door. And as you pass in front of it, there's a sudden whisper of air. And before you can see it, bearing down on top of you from the right-hand side, a massive, dark, many-legged form, massive pincers and fangs reaching out toward you. And that's where we'll take our break.
Oh no!
Oh!
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
I really wish that spider wasn't there right now.
Yeah. Metreon's great, awesome, wonderful, happy time day.
Yep. He's having a good one.
Yeah, I will say that he screams just as loudly as he did when he was first attacked by spiders at Arkenvost.
Is he screaming out loud and also in telepathy?
Yes, both. It's this like feedback thing that's happening.
Nice.
All right, so as usual, we will pick this back up after a short 15-minute break. This week, we'll have a fireside chat with Jija, a Curse of Strahd subreddit Discord staff member and community writer and contributor. We'll be chatting with Zio, our producer, about running a female Strahd von Zarevich in your Curse of Strahd campaign. Please do enjoy, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Fireside Chat, a short interlude with weekly features where I, your host Lucas, will be showcasing and interviewing prominent D&D creators. This week, we are talking to Jija, a Curse of Strahd Discord staff member and writer about running a female Strahd. Why would someone want to run a female version of Strahd?
I recently ran a survey of the Curse of Strahd's DMing community asking if they had or intended to run a female Strahd, and out of the 400 responses, only 9% of DMs were currently running a female Strahd, but over 44% were interested in running a female Strahd in the future. Together, that's over half the responders. There are a number of reasons for choosing to run Strahd as a female. Many DMs do it because they feel more comfortable role-playing and getting into the mind and the voice of a female character. Others might be looking for an alternative to certain elements of the original adventures to make their tables a safer space for themselves and their players. And whilst changing Strahd's gender is not the only answer, it does provide various opportunities to avoid the sexual predator toxic relationship aspects of the published adventure. For veteran DMs or players of the classic Ravenloft setting and adventure, changing Strahd's gender offers an opportunity to revisit the familiar story with a fresh look at both Strahd as a villain and Barovia as a society.
What would you advise people wanting to run a female version of Strahd?
My main advice would be to go for it and make it your own, but do be cautious to avoid falling into the trappings of cliché. Contemporary media is brimming with remakes and reimaginings of gender-swapped characters, many of which bring nothing new to the table, or worse, serve only to perpetuate stereotypes. I want to encourage DMs to create nuanced, authentic characters whose gender identities are a part of them, not a mere reskin. Treat Strahd's gender as an opportunity to incorporate additional themes or subplots to your version of the adventure, and to explore unique dynamics that would otherwise not exist.
What kind of unique dynamics do you have in mind?
Well, have you ever considered Strahd as a mother? What would happen if you took the dynamic between Strahd and Tatiana, an exploration of toxic, obsessive, narcissistic love, but made Tatiana Strahd's biological child instead? Or a different example, how would Strahd and Sergei's dynamic differ in relationship to her gender? Let's just say prime material Barovia is a medieval patriarchy, where King Barov's title and lands would have skinned Strahd by virtue of her gender, and gone straight to Sergei. Sergei provides you with a narrative opportunity to highlight Strahd's deepest desires and insecurities, and how at the end of the day, those demons won and drove Strahd straight to vampire. However, what those desires and insecurities are is up to you as a DM. The gender implications can change relationships with important NPCs or relatively minor NPCs. Consider Gertruda. What if instead of the really icky situation she finds herself in, as described in the adventure module, she has decided to become Strahd's lady-in-waiting? What if instead of a male-fashioned harem, the so-called brides, they become the family, bound together by blood and kinship? After all, everyone knows you don't mess with family. And once you start to look and consider the implications of gender, you can reevaluate many relationships under a new light.
You mentioned avoiding cliches. Could you give me some examples?
3 big ones come to mind. First, I would really like to place a stake in the heart of the notion that running Femstrahd makes Strahd less of a threat or less evil. Unfortunately, we've all seen some origin stories in popular media that seek to soften up or explain away a female's villainy or potential for evil. This is another example of society's stereotypical views about what the ideal of a woman is supposed to be: virtuous, submissive, good. They couldn't possibly just be evil. There has to be something else going on to make a good woman go bad. If this is your preferred backstory because it adds a layer of melodrama that you enjoy, then go for it. But try to resist the temptation to overly sympathize with Strahd. The key difference is understanding versus excusing. Providing additional background motivations does not excuse the villain, even if it aids us in understanding the full context of the evil act. The adventure needs a powerful, fear-inducing villain for the players to rally against. As the DM, you're responsible for creating a challenging and dangerous foe for your players to hate and defeat. Countess Strahd should in no way be any less terrifying than her male counterpart. The second cliché to avoid would be to avoid excessively sexualizing Femstrahd. There is a whole subgenre of quote-unquote blood and bosoms films and TV shows which depict female vampires in revealing and fetishistic clothing, and where sucking blood is largely treated as a sexual metaphor. And sadly, that's where many a mind goes when picturing a female vampire. I am not here to judge any form of entertainment or aesthetic, though it is worth mentioning how the media has a tendency to depict women who are confident in their sexuality as predatorious and dangerous. But where this really becomes problematic for a campaign is when the DM makes the error of focusing on Strahd as a female, rather than placing the focus on Strahd as a monster. Focus on what Strahd provokes: awe, terror, and what she represents: death and evil. Remember that first impressions are incredibly important. When the time comes to introduce her to your players, pay close attention to the art that you choose to represent Strahd, and remember that the first few facts you mention will have the greatest impact. Use this to your advantage and use descriptive language to unsettle and inspire fear. I have seen concerned messages from DMs in the community worried that their players will flirt or sexualize Femstrahd. My response would be to ensure that you have portrayed Strahd as the fear-inducing monster that she is, and not as an object of sexual desire. Have Strahd confidently and unapologetically shut down any unwanted advances. It is your table, and you have the power and responsibility to establish the dynamics you and your players are comfortable with. The last problematic stereotype I'll mention is that of the predatory queer character, which is depressingly common in depictions of non-heterosexual characters in fiction. This stereotype frequently involves depicting a lesbian woman as emotionally unstable, villainous, and dangerous because she is a lesbian. She's often depicted as lusting after straight women and hatefully vindictive of male competition, perceived or otherwise. Frequently, this stereotype also involves a bisexual love triangle, where the object of the lesbian vampire's desire is a younger woman who herself desires a man. The man in this triangle represents goodness, morality, faith, godliness. The young woman represents innocence, the victim teetering on the edge of the perdition of her soul. The vampiric lesbian represents evil and corruption. Is this starting to sound familiar? So the important takeaway here is that Strahd is a predator regardless of their gender or of their sexual preference, not as a result of it. Be careful to not inadvertently insinuate that Strahd went crazy and evil because her love interest chose a man over her. Strahd, consumed by bitterness and regret, has many a reason to accept Vampire's gifts. Losing Tatiana to a man is not one of them. Losing Tatiana to literally anyone might be. Similarly, avoid inferring that Tatiana rejected Strahd just because Strahd is a woman, and omit connotations of homophobia altogether. A good way of ensuring that your campaign remains an ally to the LGBTQIA+ community is to introduce additional healthy and loving queer relationships into your game. This readdresses the balance and highlights how predatory Strahd's actions really are. Consider, for example, turning the Mardikovs at the Blue Water Inn into a same-sex couple, or exploring asexuality with one of the NPCs.
Does changing Strahd's gender require you to change a lot of story and character backstories?
There's no requirement to change anything just because you're not playing them as male. The adventure module does not break, nor does the story necessarily change. But even if there's no need to change anything, the reality is that running Femstrahd opens up a really amazing world-building opportunity, and you might want to take advantage of that to create your own unique version of the adventure.
What are some of these cool world-building opportunities for the Barovia of Femstrahd?
Well, civilizations are built in the likeness of their rulers. Their influence and power shape the world around them, both actively through laws, mandates, and traditions, and passively as a reaction to the ruler. Spend some time thinking about how Strahd's position as a ruler has influenced and affected the denizens of Barovia. For example, what if the dread domain Barovia has turned into a matriarchy, where political power and ownership remains exclusively in the hands of women? How would that play out in the context of the political turmoil of Vallaki, for example? And then also consider the possibility that in a highly superstitious society, women might be seen as being the only ones susceptible of being turned into vampires, perhaps because no male vampires have been sighted for generations, for example. This could lead unscrupulous Barovians to accuse young women of being vampires or witches allied with Strahd. It is easy to be inspired by historical precedents, for example, with the witch trials of Salem.
Where can people find you and your work?
I actually wrote a guide about running a female version of Strahd. It covers general tips and tricks and how to best avoid tired cliches. But it also covers quite a significant amount of new content, relationships, and encounters inspired by running Countess Strahd. So if the idea interests you, you can find the guide in the Dungeon Masters Guild website. The title is Countess Ponzarovich, Tips and Tricks for Running the She-Devil Strahd. And it is written by me, Dija, and published by CZRPG. And for any quick questions or to just say hi, you can find me on the Curse of Strahd Discord at Dija. That's Jija.
Curse of Strahd, Twice Bitten, is proud to be sponsored by Foundry VTT, The Forge, and Benios Battle Maps. If you're looking for a self-hosted, modern, feature-rich virtual tabletop for your D&D or other TTRPG games, make sure to check out Foundry Virtual Tabletop, a one-time purchase software that lets your players connect and play for free. If low-effort automation, a gorgeous, user-friendly interface, and an endless library of additional features sound up your alley, make sure to check out Foundry at foundryvtt.com. If you're looking to host your Foundry VTT game in the cloud, make sure to also check out The Forge, a no-hassle RPG platform that's uniquely integrated with Foundry VTT. Manage your games online efficiently and easily, and stay focused on being a great dungeon master instead of spending precious preparation time managing local servers. Check them out at forge-vtt.com. Finally, if you're running a Curse of Strahd campaign of your own, make sure to check out Benios Battle Maps, a creator of high-quality, animated 3D battle maps and tokens for your D&D game. Become a patron at patreon.com/BeniosBattleMaps to receive animated battle maps for Death House, Argnvastolt, and a full render of Castle Ravenloft, complete with built-in sound effects, scene handouts, and a full automatic Foundry integration. To see Benios' Ravenloft maps in action, make sure to watch Twice Bitten's climactic finale, as our heroes delve into the depths of Strahd's lair.
Hey y'all, Serena here. If you like what you're watching, you can scroll down the page a little bit and hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell to stay notified for when our next episode goes live. You can also click through to our channel to watch all of our past sessions, fireside chats, and highlights from the stream. If you want to stay connected with us, you can do so via our Reddit, reddit.com/r/twicebittendnd, or our Twitter page at twicebittencos, or by good old-fashioned email, twicebittencos@gmail.com.
And welcome back. And so, we return to the depths of Castle Ravenloft, wherein we find our heroes having delved into the catacombs far below in search of the remains of Petrina Velikovna and the holy symbol of Ravenkind. After uncovering a magic item and exploring further within the catacombs, we turn our gaze to Metreon as he is attacked by one of several many-limbed foes.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh
Yeah,
no, but I
around.
insist.
Okay.
So, I will need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Ah, jeez.
Here we go again.
9.
17.
13.
All right.
19.
Beautiful. And with that, Metreon, what's your passive perception?
My passive is... one moment.
Does it reach 17?
It does not.
Oof.
All right, then you are surprised as 3 massive wolf spiders leap out from the interior of the crypt, their mandibles clamping down around you. And they all get to attack.
Cool.
Why?
Let's see how they do. First one is at 11 to hit.
Does not hit.
21 to hit.
That does hit.
All right, that'll be 2 points of piercing damage.
Not so
And
bad.
as it does, you feel a chill sort of venom sinking into your veins, and then you feel a familiar warmth. In the distance, you think you smell the familiar scents of refreshing herbs and delicious gravies, and you feel that chill, venomous poison nullified in an instant, as the hero's feast protects you from its poisonous bite.
Those
The
bangers are
third one
coming
will
in
attack
handy.
as well. That's a 16 to hit.
That hits.
2 points of piercing damage.
This is cool. This is cool.
All right, and with that, Amity, you are first up.
Okay.
I presume Metreon is... he actually screamed, right? I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure you
screamed
hear him screaming.
very loudly. Very loudly.
So, Amity, what would you like to do?
What direction did I hear the scream in? I don't even
You
know
can tell
where
we're
Metreon is.
bottom right.
Bottom right?
Southeast. Yep.
All right. This way, I think Amity says she's gonna try to find what's going on. Oh, there's spiders. Amity is going to go ahead and do a simple vicious mockery on the one right north of Metreon. So it has to make a slight wisdom save.
That is
to me,
a
like
3.
Oh, cool. In that case, it takes an amazing 2 psychic damage, and it will have disadvantage on the next attack it makes.
All right. I will note that down, but do remind me if I forget. Anything else?
As a bonus action, that same Spidey has to make a strength save. Sammy tries to push it away.
That is a natural 1+1. Which
just
direction are
gets
you pushing it in?
away, so just south east.
All right. You, Metron, you watch as a silvery spirit apparates from the floor and violently shoves the spider aside as it goes rearing its front legs back and stumbles, slamming against the wall. The spirit then vanishes back into the earth.
All right, play it safe, Amity says as she runs back into the hallway.
All right, Kiva, you are somewhat far away. Would you like to attempt to join the crowd?
Yes. It's like just out of my fucking movement. Like literally 5 feet.
Alas. You're gonna dash to get there?
She has 40 feet of movement.
Okay, gotcha.
Barbarian.
It's 45 feet. Oh, I'm actually right next to a spider anyway, so it literally doesn't matter. Let's go reckless 2 attacks with the sun sword.
Hit it. Literally. All right, Kiva, what you got?
That's a 25 to hit.
All right, 25 hits.
6 radiant damage.
All right, 6 radiant.
Then another 25, so I'm not going to roll that again. For another 7 radiant damage.
All right, 7 damage. The sunsword blazes forward and slices through the spider's first 2 legs on the right side, then 2 legs on the left, and it goes down hard to its side before you split the sunsword across its torso, and it shudders. And
amazing.
goes still.
And then, yeah, I just get 2 attacks, and then yeah, she's just gonna stay close, ready for the spiders to come close to her, or hopefully to get Metreon out of there.
All right, Aerith, you're up.
All right, Aerith, using the scream to triangulate, hums into the blade song for a moment and then blurs across the floor. So 5, 10, 15. Can you cut corners legally, or is that a thing?
Not if there's a wall in the way.
All right.
You gotta go around it.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Can I get into range? Barely. Okay. 40. Aerith's gonna look at Kiva. Is going to raise his wand and send off a blast of fire at the one that's in front of Metreon.
All right, it will have half cover because one of you, it is partially behind the wall, so it's +2 to its AC.
I can live. 16?
16 will hit. What's the damage?
7 fire damage.
7 fire damage it takes, screeching as there's a large char mark now across the right side of its abdomen.
Alright, that's his turn.
Alright, Ez will take her turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And she will slice and dice the one to her bottom left. First one is a hit, dealing 13 points of damage, and neatly bisecting it. That's the end of her turn. Next up, the spider. It's going to launch itself at Metreon and disadvantage on the attack, right, Amity?
That is correct.
All right. Oof. Even with disadvantage, that's a 16 to hit.
That do hit.
No, it
All right,
don't.
I'll be-
Cutting words.
All right. Cutting words. Roll it.
It's now a 14 to hit.
That still
That's 14 hit.
Why?
Yeah, meets it, beats it, right? Yeah, my AC is 14.
Meets it, beats it.
We are
That'll be
finding
3
some more
points
of
of piercing damage.
Oh,
Hardy.
Yep. No poison because of the Hero's Feast.
this is suddenly somewhat less urgent.
All right. That is the end of the spider's turn. Irina will take her turn. She'll just run up behind Erthrindir. And can she? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, she will take a line up a shot with her crossbow. That is a 17 hit, which hits, dealing 4 points of damage. Metron, as it rears up over you, its mandibles pulling away with the blood and flesh that it tore away. It suddenly squeals, then goes silent and falls back. You see a crossbow protruding right under the chin of its mandibles, and its legs shudder and then slowly curl up into the air.
Ow. That hurt a lot. And you see him
crypts
like
are quiet
pouting, but
once
not
more.
like crying.
You alright?
Oh, I'm not bloody alright. I got bit by fucking giant spiders 3 times.
Oh shit, do we need to get the poison?
No, it's, I mean, I don't know. It's, it fucking stung, and he points to the gaping gashes on his shoulder. It fucking stings, but, I don't know. It smelled like cakes and mashed potatoes and bangers, when it was biting me. I feel like it was, reminded me of the food that we ate yesterday, or this morning.
Of course! That confers poison immunity. I completely forgot.
You actually see, in the place of one of the bites where the mandibles ripped across the flesh, thin traces of black, putrid, purple-tinged moisture that begin to glow and simmer with a faint golden brown glow before evaporating, burning away.
Alright. In that case, crisis averted, I think.
How many more fucking crises we gotta deal with here?
At least 8.
Metron puts his hand on his shoulder, and there's that familiar flare of, like, light corona, and he's gonna go ahead and give himself some healing.
Smart
Are there
man.
spider eggs inside that?
Inside me? No, I hope not.
No, inside the... Well, actually, I hope there are none inside you, but inside where they jumped out from.
I mean, I didn't see nothing. I just saw spiders. So is there anything in there?
Is there?
Looking
there
inside,
DM?
it seems to be totally empty.
That's a cruel trick. Alright. Folks, be on the lookout. Odds are, some of these contain more nasties. As Aerith's going to go back to tomb scanning.
Yep. Lillison's gonna drift back over to the left side where she was before.
Kiva's gonna gesture down to Irina and move to, I guess, the one furthest south.
All right, Irina will follow.
Yep.
Oh, Davin. And,
Right, don't get your knickers in the twist. I'm right behind you.
And then, yeah, I'll try to perceive if there's any kind of traps or any entities, any noises, anything like that.
All right, so I think that counts for everyone, as we'll follow Erthrindir. Where did Erthrindir go?
Motherfuckers.
there he
He's on the west side of the map.
This is a large map. Please excuse me.
There's a lot to manage.
All right, so we're going to go from left to right. And where's Amity going?
Amity is going to go left for now. Sorry, just following people. I'm trying to find them
Gotcha.
on the map.
All right, so she's just kind of rotate around and look with Detect Magic.
She has to restart the ritual casting of Detect Magic because,
okay.
Yeah, alas.
Does she want to do that, or does she want to move around?
Before you tell me that, how much time is left on Roaries? Is it about 30 minutes left, or?
I'll say around 20-25 minutes left.
Okay. In that case, she'll ritual cast that one instead. Amity is the camel spending all the time ritual casting all these spells.
All right, sounds good. So, we'll listen first, and All right. Oh dear, poor Lillison's on her own. Unless you prefer to take Casimir with you.
If Casimir wants to follow.
I mean,
but he's having, he's having some feelings.
Let him have emotions.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he'll have a moment, and Lillison isn't too far from Earthendeer, so this should be fine. Probably. All right. So Lillison, the first crypt you come across reads across its epitaph, Tasha Petrovna, healer of kings, light unto the west, servant, companion. The one immediately across from it reads, Sir Leonid Krushkin, Sir Lee the Crusher. Bigger than life, he loved his jewelry.
Willison's going to give a speculative look to the Tasha one, then shrug and move past.
Okay. Earthendeer, the first one that you and Esmeralda find reads, Kazan, his word was power.
Oh. Hey, Amity. Come here a second.
Amity walks over while ritual casting. The most she can do is like nod.
Well, she can. Yeah. Aerith. Yeah. You remember that mage you talked to?
Over here.
He's on the west side.
Yeah. Come over. Amity nods.
I think this is crypt.
Amity's eyes are wide as she reads the nameplate, nodding.
Okay. On one hand, probably shouldn't piss off an Archlich. On the other, your detect magic's not back up, right?
Shaking her head.
Alright. In that case, just, if I get fireballed, pray for me. As he starts to leave or open the door with a crowbar.
Alright, as will help, is Mark as well.
Yep.
While that's happening, moving across the map, let's see. Alright, Metreon. The one that you see. Let's see which crypt that one is. The door to this crypt has no name or epitaph upon it. It is blank.
Or maybe this is like TBD, right? You know, to be determined.
Davian shrugs. Could be, I don't know.
Oh, maybe just crack it open. Hopefully there's, best we can hope for is nothing, right?
At this point, lad, unless there is a good reason to open one of these things, I feel like I'd personally rather not.
Well, I mean, listen, it's what are we gonna do here? We're just finding things. I mean, yeah, we gotta. We're looking for what was it? A guild member, right? But what if we had got no epitaph, whatever it's called?
Oh, why don't we? I reckon that if nothing else, we can look at the names, and if we don't find anything, then we can keep digging through it.
Fine.
But if you want to go ahead, then go ahead. Be my guest.
No, listen.
But I'm going to be standing 10 feet back.
Listen, it's fine. I appreciate you looking out for me. I know I've been the one who's been getting the brunt of things since we got here. So you know what? I appreciate you looking out for me. And he's going to start to walk towards the east.
All right. As he does, Kiva, the two that you find, actually you find three at this intersection here. Arena kind of glancing around, looking at the names. The one that you were immediately next to right now is named Prefect Cyril Romulich, beloved of King Barov and Queen Revenovia, High Priest of the Most Holy Order. The one that Irina is close to on the upper side reads Stefan Gregorovich, First Counselor to King Barov von Zarevich. The one to the south reads Ivan Ivliskovich, Champion of Winter Dog Racing. The race may go to the swift, but vengeance is for the loser's relatives.
Do any of these sound like guild members to you?
She shrugs and shakes her head. I don't think so, unless there's some sort of guild of dog racing, but it doesn't sound too likely.
Well, I mean, not to disturb holy ground or anything, but do you think the priest might have something worthwhile?
Could be. If you want to take a look, I'm not opposed.
I think we might as well go for it. So she's going to, the one that she's next to, she's going to open.
Are you two saying this out loud or in group chat?
Group chat.
If you're interested in things of that sort, I also just walked past one that indicated this might have been a holy person.
I think it's probably worth checking those just in case there's something I don't know, that'll help us at least.
I was going to come back to this one afterwards, but it's up here on the. Is this like north, south, east, west, like the northwest?
We'll just say for the sake of it, north, south, east, west are normal.
Okay.
I don't know if it matches up with the actual global conditions, but don't worry about it.
It's up here to the northwest.
All right, that's good to know. I'm gonna try this one though now while we're here.
All right. So with that, Arena and Kiva will work together to attempt to open the stone slab, and as they do, Erthrendir, working with his crowbar, Esmeralda, Amity, and Ismark, haul open the slab, stealing the crypt marked Kazan, and peer inside. You see within, a skeleton draped in rags lies atop a marble slab at the center of the crypt. The skull has black opals set in its eye sockets, and shards of amber where its teeth should be.
No sign of anything else?
Make a perception check.
Sure thing. $10.
Seems empty.
This one's a bust, unless any of you want to pry opals out of someone's eye sockets.
Maybe later, yeah, if all goes well.
Alright. Well, in that case, it's this one, as he raps on the door and replaces it.
Alright, and as you do, Kiva and Irina work together, push the door with a grinding echo through the lower corridor, opening the way to Prefect Cyril Romulich's crypt. You see, a marble slab in the center of the crypt displays a skeleton draped in red vestments, a golden holy symbol clutched in one bony hand. The domed ceiling 15 feet above is painted to look like a canopy of trees with bright autumn leaves. A narrow stone ledge encircling the crypt 10 feet above the floor. Perched on it are dozens of stone ravens, their eyes fixed on the marble slab.
Okay. That feels ominous. Can she look closer at the holy symbol?
It seems to be carved rod of gold in a symbol of a sunburst, the iconography of the Morning Lord, and festooned with tiny gemstones. It looks quite finely made.
Is Irina watching?
She seems to be. She just helped you push the door aside.
As respectfully as possible, Kiva is going to liberate the holy symbol from Cyril, dear, just in case.
Irina will kind of look at you. Do you think that's what we're looking for? I don't think he was a guild member.
Look, it's a holy symbol, and if he was buried with it, it must be some sort of protection, or, I don't know, at least worthwhile to have. I think it can't hurt, and if it proves useless, I'll put it back.
Fair enough. Shall we keep moving then?
I think so. She'll leave this door, like, cracked, not all the way closed, just in case she has to slip back and put it right.
Gotcha. As you do, Metreon, you and Davian come to the next crypt, and this one is similarly nameless, but it reads, "We knew him only by his wealth."
Dav, maybe we just, crack this one open just a bit, just see what, who and what kind of wealth we're talking about here.
Davian sighs, rolling his eyes, and says, "But if I give you this one, will you stop badgering me about it the next time we find one?"
I can't guarantee it. Well, listen, if I've only got one out of you, and we're just looking for it, you're right. Let me just get it on the way back, and Metron will keep going. He'll move to this one to the east.
All right, the door to this one seems to be on the south side. The epitaph reads, "Gralmore Nimblenobs, Wizard Ordinaire."
Telepathically, he'll call out to Randy, "Oi, there's a wizard thing here. I'm not checking it, but maybe you might want to."
Oh, yeah, please. The Archmage was a bust. I mean, in fairness, I don't want to mess with him anyway. I saw him. I do not like, oh, look at the guy.
Is that the one with the opals in the eye?
That's the one.
Oh, well, good on me then.
Maybe save it for afterward.
Alright, yeah, I'll keep looking.
So where's Metreon right now?
So Metrion is all the way on the east side of the crypts. Meanwhile, Lilliston, on the west side, comes to an intersection with two crypts facing one another. The northern one reads, Saint Markovia, dead for all time. The southern one reads, Artank Swilovich, friend and member of the Barovian Wine Distillers Guild.
I think I found it.
Wait,
what?
You found it, like it.
The Guild of the Tomb Member. The Wine Distillers Guild.
Oh my god.
Please.
Yeah, we're just gonna run.
Yeah,
Kiva's just gonna run over.
Zoom.
You notice halfway along the way that Casimir's decided to rejoin you.
Understandable.
Excellent.
There's just like a swarm of tokens running across the map, and I am loving it. Is Metron coming too?
Actually, as everyone's starting to kind of swarm there, he notices some kind of flickering light coming from what looks to be like a gate or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So you notice two things as you're... Well, actually, one main thing as you're making this way. You can see up ahead what seems to be an archway with a closed portcullis leading to stairs that seem to descend into darkness on the opposite side. You're going to check it out?
Yeah.
All right. Davian will grumble and follow you, entirely unaware of the telepathic bond, as he is not a member of the group chat. And as you do, Metreon, you take a step forward toward the portcullis, and a beat passes, and then a flash of light explodes around you, and you're then plunged into absolute darkness, suddenly lying in a confined space, choked with dust.
Oh boy!
A heartbeat later, the rest of you on the other far side of the crypts hear a shout from Davian.
I think both of these need to take priority, so we need to decide who's staying and who's going.
Aerith's already gone. After the shout.
Okay. So, let's have some initiative rolls before you all start moving.
Too late, but I will move back.
All right, let me add everyone to the lineup.
25.
And Metron will just keep track of you separately, all right? Okay. Actually, you know what? I think I know what to do. Don't worry about it. I have my ways of working with things.
Woof, that's a 9.
3.
All right. Metron, you should be able to roll initiative normally.
Fabulous. That is a 18.
Okay. With that, I will say, Erthrendir, you're first up.
He's going to run towards the sound of Davian's voice, dashing. Where does he hear it from?
Coming from the eastern side of the catacombs.
North or south?
Straight east.
Straight east. All right. That's his turn.
All right. Very good. Ez will go next. Running as fast as she can to try to keep up. Ismark to follow, doing the same. Amity, you're up next.
Amity uses her action to continue ritual casting, but will run in that direction. Okay,
very good. Metreon, you
Yes.
awaken in that confined space, absolutely choked with dust. There is very little room to move. You are lying prone on your back. And all around you is just stone and dust choking you.
But I can see the flickering torchlights.
You cannot see anything at this point.
Okay, so
you're just in darkness. You seem
right.
to have been transported to a different place entirely.
All right, so does it feel like I'm super confined?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to use my action to try and get out of whatever I'm inside.
Okay, make a strength check.
Oh, good. And as I'm feeling around, what's the tactile sensations that I'm getting? What am I feeling?
It's like stone all around you, around a little bit longer and a little bit wider than your body. Feels very much like you're in a coffin.
Oh, okay. That's totally fine. Yeah.
That would be a crypt.
All right.
That's an 11.
You reach up toward you, feel a lid briefly lift for a moment, your muscles straining, and then they give out and the lid falls back down on top of you, sealing you once more inside and causing you to cough as the dust whirls up around again. There is a stench of death and decay that is infiltrating every one of your senses the longer you're lying in here.
Yeah, I'd say that Davian, since he's presumably the closest, but anyone
You don't know where Davian is.
Oh, that's
you
it.
don't know
That's
where
what
anyone is.
I said presumably.
Yes.
Anyone who might be close would hear him immediately going into full catastrophe mode, screaming, coughing, welling up, pounding as fiercely as he can to get out of this crypt.
All right, Kiva and Irina hear the faint, muffled sound of screaming from the crypt immediately to the west of them.
Oh shit! What is that? The one that's right in front of her?
Yep, the one immediately to your left.
All right. She's going to.
So, let me just check whose turn it is. I think it's Casimir's turn.
Sorry.
All good. We'll get there. Casimir will look to you, Kiva. Right, should I join the others? Do you want me here? What are we doing?
I hear screaming inside here.
Right, I'll grab this side. I'll help you move it, and he will take the help action.
Good.
All right, Davian is on his turn, and he'll shout, "For fuck's sake, one of you give me a hand!" And he's going to actually begin bolting away, as you hear the sound of some kind of steel slicing through the air. Let's see what's going to happen. That's going to be... okay. Davian takes no damage. And panting emerges, weaving his way through the corridors, doubles over, wheezing, his hands on his knees as he sees Earthendir. There's something behind me, some sort of undead fucker. Do you mind killing it? And also, before you ask, I have no idea where the fucking thief went, so don't ask.
Don't worry, we'll take care of it.
Right. Good to know. Thanks. And that's the end of his turn. And as he does, you hear the sound of boots clanking as they slowly make their way through the corridors toward you.
All right.
Kiva, you're up.
She is going to, with Casimir's help action, move the door directly in front of her.
All right. Give me a strength check with advantage.
Oh my god, could this be literally any slower? Natural 20!
Hey! The adrenaline fueling and jolting your muscles working together, you surge and pull it away, unlocking what lies beyond, which is a 10-foot square shaft that plunges into darkness. The sound of slowly dripping water and muffled screaming, now somewhat louder, echoes up the shaft.
Does it sound like Metreon?
Yeah, it sounds like Metreon.
Okay, alright. She will... Is there enough of a ledge that she can, like, stand and yell down, or if she takes a step forward, she's falling?
No, if you take a step forward, you're falling. You're going to need some way of climbing down here. There are, looking down, you can see that it descends around 40 feet. There are stones protruding from the shaft at regular intervals that could be used to feasibly climb down, but they look pretty slippery.
We only have one climber's kit, yes?
We have two.
Okay, but we have like 300 feet of knotted rope with us still?
Yep.
Okay.
Aerith gave you rope.
Yes. Kiva's going to... Would it be an action to try to climb down after opening the door?
I would say that you can use an environmental interaction to...
Because my other option is she's just going to try to jump down and take the take the risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that to take a rope out of your hands and then pass it to someone else or something like that, that would be an action.
Okay, she is going to put down her backpack. And then can she jump down the shaft?
Yeah, she can jump down the shaft.
Great, that's what we're doing.
All right. Kiva leaps forward into the darkness, Irina giving a shout of surprise. And with that, Kiva, you plummet the 50 feet to the space far below, landing in an entirely new chamber. Here, you can see that at the bottom of the shaft is a dank vault with a 10-foot-high ceiling. The room is awkwardly shaped and smells of rotten meat. 15 stone coffins are scattered throughout the vault, all oriented with their heads pointed north. The floor is covered with human bones and rusty swords. You can hear shouting and pounding coming from one of the coffins at the very far end of the cavern.
I'm assuming the 50 feet of falling takes her movement.
You land prone, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I guess next turn she'll get up and start heading over, but she will free action yell to Metreon that she's there and she's coming to get him.
Can I hear her over my own screaming?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you can hear someone shouting.
Okay, well that will just make
if
me
you
scream.
want, people can also send it telepathically.
Oh yeah, I will telepathically do it then, duh.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. In that case, it is Irina's turn. Back on the crypts, Irina will look toward the backpack and then immediately begin pulling rope out of it and preparing herself to lower it down into the vault below, handing part off to Casimir as they lower it into the vault. Lillison, you're up.
Lillison is hearing all of this commotion around her. And she decides what she is going to do instead is to try to open this door.
The north one or the south one?
The south one.
All right. The guild. In that case, give me a strength check.
Oh gosh. 13.
Unfortunately, just not quite enough. You struggle, your muscles groaning, and it's a heavy slab. You could try again, though, next turn.
Yeah. With the rest of her turn, she's going to just move around a little bit so she can peek down the corridor and see if anything is going on over here.
All right. Very good. With that, Erthrindir, you are up. You can hear bootsteps coming from very faintly to the east and a little bit to the north.
He's gonna rush forward and engage.
All right. You see before you a pale, ghastly figure, long strands of wispy, rotted white hair, pale flesh, hateful eyes burning from the center of its sunken face, a rusted longsword held in its pale, clawed fingers.
Get out! As Aerith lashes out with a green frame blade.
All right, go for it.
18 to hit.
18 will hit.
Okay, for 5 slashing and for 9 slashing and 7 fire damage.
Okay, and the slashing is non-magical, right?
Correct.
All right, so you said
9 slashing, 7 fire.
All right, so a total of 11.
Yep.
It seems resistant to the sword's damage, but the fire is burning it nice and good.
Over here, doesn't seem too tough.
At that, you hear a rumbling grunt from the undead before you as it murmurs, "You may stand against me, but my brothers and other siblings will come against you. And when the lord of the castle finds you, there will be no escape."
We'll see about that. That's his turn.
All right, very good. Ez is up. She's gonna make her way across the map. And unfortunately can't do much, so she's gonna firebolt over Erthrindir's head. Hitting to deal 14 points of damage.
Hey.
Very nice. That's the end of her turn. Ismark is up. He's gonna get a move on. And he's going to fire off with his heavy crossbow. Unfortunately missing, as it thunks and just clatters to the ground as this thing ducks and weaves, dodging aside. Amity, you're up.
Even if
You're gonna continue chanting?
Even if Strahd himself shows up, Amity will continue ritual casting. Okay.
All right.
That's the most
I
important.
love it. Metreon, you know Kiva's coming. There is a stone lid on top of your coffin sealing you in. What are you going to do?
I'm still, despite hearing her, he does not have that kind of reassurance right now, so he's going to keep trying to get out.
All right, give me a strength check.
Oh, it's a big ol' 4.
Unfortunately, you keep pounding across, but you can feel your strength growing weaker and weaker as the panic overtakes your mind, the claustrophobia pressing in from all sides.
Yeah, I'd say that both telepathically and out loud, that Kiva especially would hear him becoming even more hysterical, choking on the crypt dust that's filling his mouth and his throat, and hearing his boots and his hands slap against the inside.
Kiva's just like groaning in pain and misery, but is like trying to calm him down.
And meanwhile, Metron's doing the equivalent of just keyboard smashing in group chat.
Yeah, exactly. It's long F.
Love it. All right, Casimir is up, and he will continue assisting Irina in lowering the rope down, which they will do together. Davian is up. He will take a few steps back behind Ismark, line up a shot with a crossbow, and grunt, "Hey, you ugly fucker!" And he will try to plant a hand crossbow bolt between its eyes. 23 to hit, dealing 8 damage, half to 4. Slices. It actually does embed itself right at its forehead, but the thing just glares balefully at him and keeps motoring on, unperturbed. Davian's already cursing and trying to reload frantically. With that, the undead will take its turn. Looking toward Erthrendir, and then raising a hand and sending it gripping directly toward your throat.
By all means.
I need... Let's see. That is an 11 to hit.
Nope.
Alright, as it reaches toward you, you see its hand actually glinting with a faint shroud of darkness and shadow. Dodging nimbly, you swat it aside, sweeping it under its guard and gaining an opportunity to strike. But as you do, Kiva, you are at the bottom of a dark shaft. You've just been able to stand up from prone, and you hear Metron screaming, both in your head and out of your head, from a nearby coffin. What would you like to do?
She is going to run over to the coffin and, with all of her strength, push it off, or attempts to push it off.
All right. As you do, the bones crunch beneath your weight. You see femurs, skulls, finger bones, all of them crunching and splintering and cracking as they depress under the sunken cavern floor beneath you, the water stirring and splashing ever with murky darkness. Give me a strength check as you try to lift the stone coffin's lid atop from it.
18?
You haul it off. Important question for Metreon. How many seconds after Kiva lifts the lid do you continue screaming before it finally stops?
Oh, I just start, I'd like leap out flailing my arms, just immediately wrap around her, and I just bury my face into her chest and just try to like, I'm almost like hyperventilating into her cleavage.
Kiva just like holds him very tightly, and is just saying, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And she's gonna try with whatever movement, because I can't see that specific area, whatever movement she has left, get him back to the opening of the shaft, so she can get him back up.
Yeah, I would say you can start moving toward it. You'll be able to climb the rope on your next turn. You can see a rope hanging down from the shaft above.
And regardless, she'll let Metreon go up first, so even if her turn comes before, like, she's just gonna let him go.
You hear Irina call down, "Is everything all right down there?"
I've got him! I've got him!
All right, great. We'll pull you up. And that's the end of your turn. Irina will ready an action to help pull anyone up. Lillison, would you like to try again?
Lillison would like to try again.
Go for it. Let's have that strength check.
That's a
Heaving
5.
up the guild members. Oh, I'm very sorry. You can't skip leg day, Lillison. You just can't skip leg day.
No, evidently not.
All right. And so ends Lillison's turn. We're back on top with Erthrendir.
It's time to stab again. It is not diverse, but it does the job. 23 to
Hey,
hit.
if at first you don't succeed, stab again.
All right. Exact same. 9 slashing, 7 fire.
All right, total of 11 again. The green flames licking up and down the side of it, burning away parts of its undead flesh. It's looking pretty weak.
All right, that's his turn.
All right. As we'll step forward and with a flourish, twist the rapier up underneath its neck and slash across the wrinkled, sunken flesh there. Hitting, dealing 9 damage and causing a flood of black ichor to spill out as it crumples to the ground.
Good shot.
Unmoving. And once more, the catacombs fall quiet.
Metreon, you alright?
Well, before I get up top, I just I kind of dust myself off and back away from Kiva, just kind of with my head down a little sheepishly. I just let everyone know I kept my cool, right?
Metreon, it's fine. That is, this is probably the most terrific place I've ever seen, and honestly, you at least were like smart enough to just keep screaming until I find you. I just threw myself down this hole, so maybe, you know, we'll both just tell everyone that it worked out perfectly and there was no problems.
Yeah, cheers, thanks a lot. And he slaps you on the shoulder and you get 6 points of healing back.
Oh god, she loves that tiefling.
And one by one, Metreon first, Kiva following soon after, Irina and Casimir haul you both back up to the main level.
Sorry, what was that, Randy? I couldn't hear over the crypt dust lodged in my ear. You see him kind of wiping his ear out with his thumb.
He smiles. I was just asking if you were okay. That's what happened.
I don't know. I saw there was something on the other side. It was like it's like kind of like a gate or whatever the thing outside was. What did you call it? A portillo's.
Portcullis?
Portcullis, yeah.
And like, what did you like touch the gate?
No. I was just walking to it because I saw light coming through it, and I figured, hey, you know, maybe that's another chamber, no hallway to go to. But
so this happened when you stepped forward, then?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just stepped forward, and then I just.
Can you show me the spot?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Just, you know, from a distance. I want to try something.
Yeah, and I'll start to walk over towards the east, back to where I was.
Yeah.
Kiva's gonna split off and go back towards Lillison and try to help her with the door.
Yeah, you see Lillison just sort of like straining against it very feebly.
Metron, as you're walking away, Damon's gonna put a hand on your shoulder and say, "Look, lad, whatever that thing was, I don't want to try it again. How about we wait for Amity, you know, the actual freaking seer, so she can take a look."
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'm staying back. You know,
that's better sense. Yeah, let's let her. In the meantime, what was that wizard ordinaire you told me about?
Oh yeah, it's right over there. I point to the crypt that we found the wizard stuff at.
All right,
It's the one directly north of Earthrender's current location.
Well, let's look at that while Amity finishes her spell.
Yeah, by all means, you have a blast.
Lillison, would you like to make another strength check?
I would like to help Kiva make a strength check.
All right,
that works.
Kiva, make a strength check with advantage. And I'll move Irina over to your current location, and Casimir will follow too. And Earthrender, if you'd like to make one with advantage as well.
19.
I would.
Your own. 19. All right.
16.
Both of you open them successfully. Starting with Earthrendir. Beyond the crypt door of Gralmore Nimblenob's Wizard Ordinaire, you see, lying on a marble slab in the center of this crypt, is the corpse of a man with a long white beard. His skin clings tightly to his skull and bones, and he wears dusty red robes. Clutched to his chest is a wooden staff that has a brass knob on one end and a marble knob on the other.
He's going to take a tentative step forward. Interesting. Does the staff look magic?
Looking over it, it could be. It seems relatively fancy, but you don't know.
Yeah. Aerith will put on his gloves and then tentatively pick it up.
Nothing seems to immediately occur.
This is weird. kind of looks at the knobs on either end. Is there anything unique about them, or are they just kind of rocks?
One of them seems to be made of marble. The other one seems to be made of brass.
Is this thing Okay, here's a question. Is this thing balanced to where you could actually hold it, like as a wizard staff, or does it seem clear?
Oh yeah,
that
it's a quarterstaff.
Even with the knobs on the end?
Yeah, it seems like you could use it as a reasonable quarterstaff.
Metron, look at this. This is bizarre.
Yeah, well, yeah, it looks, what is it?
I don't know. Aerith's going to check the tomb one more time in case there's something he missed, and then walk back out.
All right, give me a perception check. And while that's happening, Lawson and Kiva, you open the crypt that you had discovered. You are greeted immediately by the faint smell of wine. A skeleton draped in rags lies atop a marble slab in the center of the crypt. Heaped around it, covering the entire floor, are thousands of empty wine bottles.
So Kiva is going to again use her magic awareness in here.
And Lillison is just going to cast Mage Hand and start remotely digging through the bottles.
Okay. Digging through the bottles, the two of you kind of shuffling through. It takes a few moments, but after pushing a few aside, you see Champagne Dula Stomp, Red Dragon Crush, Purple Great Mesh number 3, all of them labeled according to the Wizard of Wine's winery. But underneath one of them, you see a faint shimmer of silvery, red-tinged light.
Does it... What sort of magic? Or is it magic that she senses, or no?
As soon as it does, you immediately sense magic flaring toward you like a blast of radiant sun.
Okay, so it feels like the Sun Sword?
Subtly different. It doesn't feel the same to the Sun Sword, but you don't see anything visible, but you detect a strong sense of radiant magic. Something sacred coming from that point in the floor.
Okay, as she gets closer, before she picks it up, she is going to use her divine sense as well. Oh no, that doesn't do objects. Never mind. Cool. Never mind. So yeah, as long as it, she's gonna trust that radiance and just pick it up and look at it.
All right. You move toward it, picking it up, and see a symbol resembling a sunburst, carved of pure platinum. At the top, you see a faint golden chain, and across the surface of the sunburst, you see intricate spiraling carved symbols and iconography in an elegant curve. At the very center of it, at the heart of the sun, a glittering, brilliant red scarlet ruby that burns very faintly with the fierceness of the sun.
Lily, I think this is it.
Lillison draws back a little bit, her eyes wide, just staring at it. Oh, is it speaking to you?
Kiva will sort of do the same thing that she does with the Sun Sword and just try to see if it connects at all, or if she feels any sort of even spark of anything.
I mean, there's not really a spark that you feel. It seems quite interesting, but as you bring it up to the light, Irina immediately gasps.
What?
I've seen that design before. Once, in a book, and Father Donovich described it to me once. It's the holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Do you know what it is, or what it does?
I don't know. I mean, there are myths and legends about it. I think Davian mentioned some of them. But
if it's of Ravenkind, then... And she sort of pitches her voice up. Davian, are you around somewhere?
It echoes very distantly.
To group chat.
Oh, group chat.
No,
Group chat.
like before I was
Okay.
pitching my voice up because he was out, but now to group chat I say, is Davian around any of you? Where did he
Esmeralda
go?
responds, yes, he's right over here. Should we send him your way?
Please.
We seem to have found something called the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind. Can you ask if he knows anything about that?
Is Mark
Does
is
Davian
not here? This
know
because he's not in
anything
the group
about
chat.
it?
Esmeralda says, we're Metron and Ezra here. Is there something called the Holy Symbol of Ravenkind? I think that might be what we're looking for. Davian says, Mark's eyes light up. And Davian says, right, you two mind taking me over there? I want to take a look at this myself, see if it's the real thing.
Yeah, there's nothing here.
Yep. And as he does that, as they start making their way over and cross the central corridor, Amity, your ritual cast finishes.
Finally, Amity makes her way. I guess she was already probably following people around. Just wasn't moving my token. Alright. I'm caught up. I figure once we're almost done opening the crypts, or maybe once there's only like 5 or 10 minutes left of doing that, then I can ritual detect magic, just like jog around and see if there's anything in any of the crypts we left open.
Yeah, good plan.
I mean, it sounds like we got the big thing though, right? I mean, the only thing that we really wanted to check out was over the idea, and he Metron points east with this thumb.
Yeah, but given us doing this once yielded us a magic sword, I think we can use any edge we can get.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like 5 magic swords.
Or like a book on how to kill vampires, preferably with lots of garlic. I miss garlic.
You got a lot of garlic on you? You carry garlic?
I wish I did. I love that shit. Also, as he comes jogging up, I heard a holy symbol.
Wilson steps back and lets Kiva come forth with it.
Kiva, who has it sort of like the chain like wrapped around her hand so she doesn't like drop it or anything, just sort of holds it out to everyone, especially Davian in particular, and it's just like, what do you think? Is this the real deal?
He licks his lips, looking toward it with wide eyes, and quietly nods. From the ruby in the middle, the gold chain, the platinum sun. Near as I can tell, this is, well, it's a legend, but near as it matches the legend. This seems to be the same holy symbol that Lugdana used to root out the vampires of Barovia. I think we found it.
Do you know what it does, or?
I haven't the faintest fucking clue.
All right.
While that's happening, what's Lillison doing?
Lilson was just stepping away.
Gotcha. You're stepping toward the northern crypt. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. As you do, immediately you feel the ground below you shift and depress as if you just stepped on some sort of pressure plate. And as it does, you hear the faint whistling of small, sharp objects whizzing through the air. Let me just check something real quick.
Oh God.
Okay. Let me just roll something real quick. All right. So, all right. So I will need. Actually, nothing. So 4 small, sharp objects whiz out through the air. 1 hit toward Lillison, 2 toward Kiva, and 1 toward Irina. And let's see what happens.
Yeeks.
So this is a natural 20 against Kiva, a 23 against Kiva, an 11 against Lillison, and an 18 against Irina.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Okay, so against Kiva, and I presume this hits Lillison as well?
Or
11? No. Yes. So Kiva takes 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Irina takes 1 point of piercing damage. And as Lillison ducks what she sees now half embedded in the wall behind her to be a small black dart. Kiva and Irina feel this kind of cold, icy feeling sinking through their veins that then is met by a feeling of warmth that burns away the chill.
Jesus,
I feel like there's probably some poison
Christ. There. She's like slowly trying to like pull it out of her body.
Lillison like freezes and she looks like she wants to like jump back, but then looks down at presumably the pressure plate she's on, and she's like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I should step away or if that's going to do it again.
Everyone just duck and then you step off.
Right. She very slowly crouches down and waits for everybody to do the same.
Irina's gonna step out of sight.
I am very grateful that thing made us immune to poison.
Yeah, that's what, 2 times so far that poison has come into play?
Yeah.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Alright, Lillison, are you gonna step off?
Yeah, Lillison's going to very gingerly step off and just like scurry around the corner.
Alright. You scurry back, the floor rises back up, clicks into place. There's a slight puff of dust and nothing.
I was not expecting that from the crypt of Saint Markovia, of all people.
I wonder. Y'all remember the story, right? That she came up here to challenge Strahd?
Yeah.
I wonder if... I doubt her worshippers were able to put that in place, so maybe that's something to keep us out.
I mean, like, she might have something in there that might benefit us and anyone else who tries to kill him.
Only reason I can think to booby-trap the lair of a saint.
Casimir shrugs. Either that, or he didn't want anyone bringing it back.
Right.
Dead for all time, the epitaph says. I imagine this was the kind of person he wanted to meet twice.
Oh, damn. Yeah, we don't have the magic for that. What if we did, though?
Well...
Casimir blinks and holds up his hands, taking a step back. Whoa, wow.
No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just theorizing. Don't worry. We're getting your sister back.
Speaking of, she's down a few crypts that way. Kiva gestures with her shoulder and head. If we want to head there next.
Right. Okay, so we've got the holy symbol, right? We've got some magic. What's the plan now?
As long as we get a chance to open my sister's crypt and do what I came here to do. If there's anything else you want to do before leaving these catacombs, checking out any more crypts, I wouldn't mind. I'm content to just remain till we're ready for my part of all this.
Amdy, you want to do that circuit? See if anything shows up?
Alright, so it'll take 10 minutes. I mean, or if we don't have that time, I could just burn a spell slot. But...
I mean, you just finished casting it, didn't you?
No, I finished replenishing the telepathic voice I'm talking to you with.
Oh, thank you, darling. Yeah, up to you. I think we can... Actually, this holy symbol, are we going to need to attune to it before we can use it?
Kiva has no idea.
Do you, like,
Avian shrugs.
Any magic in it right now?
I mean, I feel the sun radiance.
Okay. But, like, nothing like the sun sword.
No. It feels like the sun sword did that sort of, like, vague, like, radiance, but not the way it feels now.
Probably attunement, then. So we need to sit down and... Alright, let's do that, then. Let's stay together, let Amity take 10 minutes, see if there's any more magic down here, see if any of it's useful, and when it's not, we find somewhere safe to take an hour and get this thing working. Does that sound good to everybody?
Where can we find somewhere safe? Is this the safest place we can be?
No.
There,
Nobody was safe here.
down the hall, there was a tomb. Sorry, love, I know it's a little grotesque, but there was a tomb for Irina that seemed pretty clean. And there was no magic or anything in there. It might be a good place to hunker down.
That'd be perfect.
We also apparently killed all those spiders, and there wasn't no eggs, so...
I will say to keep in mind that these crypts are around 10 feet across, and they do have large marble slabs in the middle. It's going to be pretty cramped in there for 5, let alone 10 people.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The other crypt as well.
Earth smiles. Well, fortunately, I can fix that. Or we can just split into 2 crypts. That works for me. Depends. Do you want me to burn the spell slot on Rope Trick, or are we okay being a little bit separated?
The hell's a Rope Trick?
It's a extra-dimensional space that we can hang out while we're resting.
I feel like you should probably preserve your magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so let's split off into the tombs we know are empty then, which are the mold, the spiders, and Irina's. Or wait, Amity, you said the one that had my name on it was empty, right?
While they were discussing, Amity had already started ritual casting. At this question, Amity sort of looks left and right, and she's too busy ritual casting to answer your question.
Okay, well, she did. I remember her saying that one was empty, so why don't I go try out my
pipe up and say, if you wanted, there was also the builder's one, right? Artemis?
Yeah, but I kind of want to see my grave. Like, I wonder what he set out for me. Ooh, do I get cool burial shroud or something? As he kind of starts chattering happily as he walks over to his tomb.
God. The gang will follow.
Not all the gang. Lilith and
not all the gang. I think the gang is splitting off in various tombs.
Oh dear. Alright, so the bulk of the gang will follow, but Casimir will kind of linger for a moment and see Lillison wandering off and turn back to say quietly, "Are you sure you want to go off on your own? I reckon that might not be a bad idea to keep close to the others after what we've been seeing going on."
She kind of leans against the wall and just like squints down the row to see how many more names she can see.
In this current row, there's 4 that you can see, plus another portcullis to the right.
Okay. Any names that I can see from here? I see there are at least 2 door-shaped.
Yeah, digits. I mean, you can't make out the epitaphs from here.
Okay. She's gonna squint for a while and then reluctantly follow Casimir.
Alright. The group will keep on trucking over. Earthrendir, you reach your tomb. Would you like any assistance in opening the door as Kiva moves to open Irina's?
Nah, he'll just open up. Oh, he'll just use the crowbar. He's curious. It's this one, right? The one I'm standing by?
The one on the opposite side.
Alright, cool. Ooh, I'm excited to see. What do you think I was worthy of?
Irina's is directly across from Petrina's, right?
Correct. That's the one you're outside of right now.
Great.
Yep.
That's a 10. I'm gonna need... Alright, I might need a hand with this one.
Alright. 2 people working together. You open it. There is once more the release of the stench of terrible death and decay. And within, Earthrendir, you see your own pale corpse lying upon the marble slab within.
Oh.
Well, at least she had the good sense to entomb you in your beautiful new blue dress.
Earth holds his nose and steps inside, looking torn between being horrified and fascinated. As he kind of gingerly touches his skull. It's non-illusion.
The second you do,
yeah,
you feel physicality as you feel the cold touch of the pale, dead flesh under your skin, and then, like a shadow, it melts away beneath your touch. On the outside, Metron and Amity, you can see that the inscription upon the stone slab fades, leaving no epitaph behind.
See, I called it. Just creepy illusions.
Yeah, but for a moment I could cut my dead face with my hand. Well, I guess this is my tomb now. Oh god, I look terrible in death. Holy shit. Like, were those worms? Jesus. Well, who wants inside the tomb that is no longer my tomb? Plenty of room.
Yeah, maybe. Amity.
Kaz, would you like to wait with me here?
Sure, I don't think I'd mind that. We'll cluster up in this one.
That way he can be near his C-store.
Mm-hmm. He is occasionally shooting some anxious looks across to the other side.
We'll get her back.
Right. I know we will.
So spatially, it's like 4 people to a tomb or crypt, right?
Yeah, just about.
Okay. Amity.
As we'll look around and say, do you want me to... I can take cover in the builder's tomb, or I can patrol the center tunnel. I don't think we'll remain hidden for long. If someone finds us, so better to have someone keeping an eye out.
Yeah, that seems sensible. Just, of course, let us know if you hear anything.
But of course. Is Mark here to join me? And he nods and will take up a position looking the opposite direction from Esmeralda as they prepare to guard the corridor.
Amity peers back at Metreon. You got something to say?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you was done casting that ritual, right?
Is Amity done casting the ritual? I don't think it's been 10
I would
minutes.
say... it's been a while. I'll say you can finish it up just as everyone is finishing, hauling things aside and getting inside the tombs. So just before you finish whatever this short rest may be, we'll say.
Well, so wait, hold on.
Understood.
Just so I'm clear, we're taking the short rest and then you're doing the ritual, or what?
No, I'm doing the ritual and then
Like,
the
as
short...
we begin, to see if we find anything, and if we don't, then we take the short rest. If we do, we dig it
Okay,
up.
got it, right.
It's hard doing time tracking in dungeons,
Yeah, it is.
especially in 5e.
Kiva's just gonna start a tuning, if she can.
Okay.
Well,
So in that case, do you, Amity, are you and Metron going to run up and down the corridors together while everyone else hangs out?
Well, Amity's going to run up and down the corridors, just pausing very briefly in front of every open door to see if she detects any magic. If Metron wants to follow her, that's cool.
yeah, my plan was to follow you, but to particularly follow you towards that portcullis that had whatever trap that sent me into the coffin. And so to, like, have you stop outside of it to figure out what was around there, if anything.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I'll escort you.
All right, and so you're heading to the east side of the map?
Yeah, I figure
First,
since
All right.
yeah, Amity
Gotcha.
Amity, do you want to weave through, or do you just want to go there first and weave back?
Amity's weaving around, making sure... Dragon, do you actually want me to, like, drag my token around? I just want to, like, be in front of all the crypts.
Are you planning on opening crypts, or are you planning on just kind of scanning them?
I thought that we'd only be scanning them, but if I'm opening them, then I guess so Metron, are we just checking out all the ones that people decided to open, or are we gonna try opening some more?
Well, I mean,
I will say that you know that Detect Magic can sense magic through thin slabs of stone. So you'd be able to sense magic. You couldn't tell it's school or what it is, but you could sense it on the other side of the slabs.
Maybe
these
then that's
slabs
perfect,
are
then.
thin enough?
They're 3 inches
Yep,
thick.
we checked.
Huh?
so,
we can ping everything.
here, so this is what we could do, right? I still got a little bit of this grease paint from me with this guy's kit. I could just put like an X on things that you feel pings at, and then that way we know if you don't got no X, you don't need to go in it.
Oh, I didn't realize I could just sense it through the door. That makes things easier. All right, get ready to put some X's down.
All right.
So
That being the case, do you want us to, like, move our tokens all around, or do you just want to say...
How about I just
like-
move for you and I'll read out the epitaphs and tell you if you sense magic.
okay.
And I presume you're looking out for traps, so I'll use your passive perceptions for that.
Yeah.
Lillison, are you returning to the group or remaining where you are?
Lillison has paused on her way back to read the inscriptions on the two tombs whose doors she can see from here.
Okay, from here, what you can see are... Let's find out. First, to your left, you can see this one reads Prince Ariel du Plumet, Ariel the Heavy. The crypt to the north of you is actually facing, and you already read that, but the one to the south of you has a door facing similarly south. If you'd like, you can check that one out as well.
I'll take a look at the one east of me first.
Okay. The one to the east of you is Kazan's tomb.
Ah, okay. She's going to stop there and just sort of go back to everybody else.
Okay. Amity and Metron, while you're making your way away, Esmeralda will say, do you want one of us to come around and keep an eye out for things, or would you rather we stay here and look out for any things that might try to intrude?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd love to have you with me, with us, if there ain't no trouble. I mean...
All right. In that case, Ez will join Amity and Metron to assist in passive percepting. So, moving through the crypts, just going off of the epitaphs that you can see, and the ones that you have or have not already seen.
And yeah, I think we're just stopping at ones that ping for Amity, right?
So you're not reading the epitaphs otherwise?
I think, well, unless Amity, you want to, I was just thinking we would just do the ones that you feel pings at.
Yeah, and the ones that are funny.
Yeah.
All right, I will do my best to pick out ones that are interesting. So, as you are passing across this area, I'll just note things that are noteworthy. To the north, you see a crypt marked King Dostrin the Hellborn. Passing continually across the area, you see to the north and south another pair of crypts. The one to the north reads Tatsal Eris, last of the line. The one to the south reads Bucephalus the Wonder Horse. May the flowers grow ever brighter where he trods.
Oh, it's for a horse.
Oh.
You head further east down the corridor and southward, and Amity, your eyes immediately pick up a glimmering cylinder, a cube, really, of brightly glowing magic, filling the corridor around 10-15 feet down, directly in front of the portcullis.
Oh, wait, stop. There's magic, not in any of the crypts, but, like, right in front of you, Esmeralda.
Another 10 feet down past her, but she'll stop.
Sorry. 10 feet in front of you. Like, you can go into the corner, but don't go into that hall. Do I get a school from it?
You focus your attention on it for a moment, and you do, in fact, receive a school. It is Conjuration.
Conjuration. So maybe if you walk into it, some monsters appear.
That sounds like what Davian described.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, there's a monster. Was there a monster? I'm confused. I was just...
Yes, Davian mentioned it. When you vanished magically, there was an undead that took your place.
Well, that's lovely. Maybe we switch places then.
Yes, perhaps some sort of teleportation device. We had best stay clear of it, I think. Perhaps a defensive measure for what lies beyond. In fact, Amity, you can actually see from your position another similar square, and at the other side of the portcullis, blocking the southern corridor leading toward it. This seems heavily defended by these traps.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of these traps here, right? And there's got to be something in there we need. There's something in there, right? I mean, maybe we could dispel it. Is the telepathy still up?
The telepathy is still up.
Telepathy? Oi, Randy.
Hello?
You and Kaz, you got some kind of things to dispel magics with, yeah?
I do. What'd you find?
That place that I stepped through, that we think that it might be something like a trap that, like, anyone who steps through it gets switched with some kind of undead creature. But this place is, this crypt in particular is really guarded. I mean, that's got to be special, right?
It does, but I guess my question is, do we need it? We know where Strahd's going to be. Eva was generous enough to give us that.
I mean, maybe it is. I mean, listen, we got the symbol, right? But, like, why is this more guarded? Maybe it's like Maybe it's like where he sleeps or something like that. Maybe it was where, there's maybe another weapon or something like that.
Aerith's going to...
Wait,
Yeah.
we can get a better view at it from this side, from the west, right?
You can move around, yes, if you want to get a better look.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aerith follows Amity.
What can we see looking from the west? I don't know if I can see all the way down here because there's like a staircase.
Looking from the west, you can see another trap of sorts filling this corridor. So every avenue toward the portcullis seems blocked. But looking through it, you can just faintly see what seem to be black marble steps descending to a dark chamber beyond. You can't make out the fine details from here, though. You need to get closer.
Okay. Now that I know the trap is here, can I, with a bit of looking, can I actually see any signs of it with my eyes?
No, it's wholly invisible.
Aerith strokes his chin, thinking, well, thing I'm thinking is that Dispel Magic's expensive. I don't have a lot of them. If you want to follow your gut on this, Metreon, I'll help you out, but remember how that flame gate, it didn't stay gone? How it roared back up when we left? I imagine this will be something similar. I don't think I have the power to completely disarm the trap, which means you might be on a timer.
Well, listen, right? If it sends me to the same place, Kiva can throw herself down another 50 feet and...
And we kill another undead.
Well, that's kind of what we came here for, right? I'm sorry,
No, I trust your instincts.
Listen, just in my short life of living, if people put up these kind of protections around something, they don't want whatever it is behind it touched.
All right. No, I get you. Then let's coordinate this. Let's get enough people who are fast to get in, lift this portcullis as quick as we can, see what it is, and leave. You down with that?
Are you saying this in group chat or
I'm
not?
saying this in group chat.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. And Aerith will relay the plan to the squad. Just be here to murder if the trap, rearms or something.
Hey, Kiva, maybe you can come here and bring some light to this, yeah? It's kind of dark down here. We can't really see.
Are you all doing this now or after your rest?
We should
now.
probably. Well, Kiva's attuning. We don't want to mess with that.
Oh.
All right. In that case, I think with the four.
Oh, sorry. Are you?
All right. Just as long as you're ready to deal with the undead, if this doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fine, right?
If there's a chance of fighting, could we actually do the rest of the trip around the crypts? Because I only have 10 minutes, so I'll detect that.
Yeah, let's... Right. Let's do that. Now that we know where it is.
All right. So we're going to take a brisk walk. Aerithrinder, are you coming with the other four?
Yep.
The other three now? All right. So, moving together. You continue your exploration of the crypts. Onto the western side, you come across a crypt that is marked. The one that Metreon saw, we knew him only by his wealth. No arcane signs thus far. Continuing further, you find a crypt facing toward you. The name is just utterly obliterated by claw marks across the crypt door. You can't possibly read the name. At the southern end of this corridor, you read an epitaph that says, Sir Jarnwald the Trickster. The joke was on him. And Amity, stepping close to the door, you could just faintly sense some kind of magical presence on the opposite side, though you can't really tell what it is.
Oh, slap an X on this one.
Metreon slaps it.
All right, the X has been slapped. You continue onward. Traveling to the third row from the east side. Just going down the list here, you see the prefix Romulich crypt, which has been thoroughly looted at this point. To the south, you actually feel from Stefan Gregorovich's crypt a faint aura of magic from the opposite side.
What was his epitaph?
Stefan Grigorovich, first counselor to King Barrow von Zarevich.
One more X.
I exit.
You continue on north checking for any additional crypts that might hold anything of note or of interest. Against the crypt that has no name or epitaph upon it, that Metron and Davian had previously encountered, you feel another similar magical sensation from the other side of it.
One more.
Yeah.
You continue northward, inspecting space for anything of note that might be around you. On one of the crypts onto the opposite side, closer to the portcullis and the traps, there's a crypt that reads, Sir Klutz Tribolotsky. He fell on his own sword.
Who the hell is writing these things?
They're kind of cruel, aren't they?
Strahd's a piece of shit.
I don't know. This doesn't feel like his sense of humor. But yeah, gosh, poor guy. How do you even do that?
I mean, his last name is Klutz.
Oh, that is sick. Oh, poor man. Got his real last name obliterated because someone wanted to make a joke.
I wonder who came first, though. Like the word, or, is he the person that's,
If this particular man is the etymology of the word klutz, then I will laugh until I cannot laugh anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. What's it called? Etymology?
The study of words.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck if I know.
Well, rest in peace, Sir Klutz, or whatever your real name is. My apologies for that your epitaph writer was a bastard.
Moving northward, you find a crypt marked Baskel Offenheis, Chef Deluxe. And Amity, you do feel a faint magical sensation from the other side of this door.
Cool.
Moving onward, we're just going to go through these real quick. You next find a crypt marked Intri Seekvalu. He spurned wealth for the knowledge he could take to heaven. Another magical essence emanates from the other side of this crypt door.
X.
Next, moving down the line
Hi, Davian.
of crypts in the main area. No sensation of magic along the main corridor.
There is a lot of magic down here. This is absurd.
Moving on to the western side of the catacombs. Just expediting this for time purposes, just because there's a lot of stuff in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We
we
said,
appreciate
just
it.
funny and
Yes.
or magical.
Yeah.
So, on the very southern side of the western half, the first row down, you see one marked King Katsky, Katsky the Bright, ruler, inventor, and self-proclaimed time traveler.
How sick do you have to be to put self-proclaimed on someone's tomb? I need to meet whoever wrote this. This is... I'm gonna punch them in the face,
Is there
even if
ping
they're a
from this?
ghost.
You feeling a ping, Emily?
I
No
don't
ping.
feel anything from this one.
However, moving upward a little bit further, beyond a crypt marked Duchess Dorfnia Delisnia, you feel a faint magical ping on the other side.
Hello. One more.
Continuing onward. Let's see if there's anything else along this row. No, very good. At the very northern end, in the very western corner, to the north side of where you found the holy symbol of Ravenkind. Taking care not to step on the trap, but peering forth toward St. Markovia's tomb, you do detect a faint magical aura on the opposite side.
Ah, knew it.
Moving southward along the very western wall of the catacombs. None of the crypts here have any particular essences of note, though you note some interesting names. Artista de Slop, court ceiling painter. Lady Isolde Yunk, Isolde the Incredible, purveyor of antiques and imports. And along the western edge, behind another portcullis, this one not trapped, unlike the eastern one, you see, looking down beyond the portcullis, white marble steps descending to a tomb with a vaulted ceiling 30 feet overhead. In the center of the tomb, beyond a stillness, a calm amid the storm, you see a white marble slab supporting an intricately inlaid coffin. But you can't quite make out the any markings on the coffin from here, but you can feel very faintly a magical essence coming from the opposite side of the portcullis.
Do y'all want to take a look at that? That seems important.
Yeah, I mean, you say
Yeah,
got the
that's-
chaps, right?
Mm-hmm. Help me pull it up.
Yep, gladly.
Yeah.
Okay. The portcullis seems to be closed. If you'd like to make a strength check with advantage, you may do so.
Do it.
I would like to make a strength check with advantage.
All right, is everyone going to work together then?
Yes.
Thanks for that.
Honestly,
Let's see,
Amity's just doing it by herself. She is strong.
All right, Amity, give me a strength check with advantage, please.
21.
That's a failure. It's too heavy.
Quick!
Pourquoi?
This is fixed in place.
You can see...
Shit.
Let me see something here, actually. Okay, yeah. You can't see anything more from here.
Does it seem like this thing actually moves, or is it just a gate?
It seems like it should be liftable somehow. There might be some mechanism associated with it, but you can't see it from here.
Aerith smiles and pulls out a battering ram. I don't know if this will work, but if it doesn't, we've lost nothing.
Oh, we lose a battering ram.
Please, these things are built to last. They're for sieges. Or, these are not for sieges. These are for very small sieges.
Tiny little sieges.
Put in
All right.
siege away then.
Well, I'm going to need help.
Alright, but let's
we want to
keep it quick.
meet up with you guys after they have finished whatever they're doing and then come back here.
Yeah.
Probably for the best if we don't go too far afield.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of want to do it now. I mean, keep us tuning in and, Lil and Dave, having tea and cookies or something.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Alright, so what are you doing precisely?
Taking the portable ram with all the strong people and seeing if we can't bust this gate down.
Oi, here's Mark.
You're calling Ismark over?
Yeah. Ismark, we need strength.
Ismark's gonna make his way over, having been summoned from afar.
Yes.
What are you all doing now?
We've found a tomb with magic in it, but we can't lift the portcullis, so we're getting in the old-fashioned way.
Oh,
Ismark
do you need
nods.
somebody to just appear on the other side?
I mean,
wait, I'm an idiot. The spirit tail I have right now can teleport people. But don't get stuck on the other side, though. That's the one thing about it.
Well, if worse comes to worse, we just break it down from the other end. That's not a problem.
well, then we leave some strong people out here then who can
Yeah.
man the battering ram. in case we
Ismark,
do get stuck.
have a battering ram.
Okay. So this is a portcullis. This is not a door.
Yes.
I feel like that's an important detail here.
Can we possibly bust it down if we wanted to?
I will say it's gonna take a very high check to break through a portcullis using a battering ram.
That's
especially a
fine with
portable
me. We're
one. As
living
in, it's
dangerously.
probably not gonna be feasible.
We're living dangerously.
Again,
Well,
it's
we're gonna
probably
try
not
and
gonna
get
be
it.
feasible.
We're gonna try and get in through the teleport, though, right?
Yeah. And
All right.
we're living dangerously.
All right, are you bringing Amity over? You're doing this with Lillison? What's going on?
I think we're doing it with Amity's spirit tail, because Lilson cost a spell slot.
Okay.
Yeah. Up to 6 people can go through.
Lil, you want to come see?
Anyone who
Kiva.
wants to can.
Kiva's a tuning.
Well, she can speak for herself. Kiva.
No, loves, you go ahead without me.
I think I'll stay here and look at this sword. Just call me if anything goes terribly wrong.
Can
Sure,
do.
but tell Davian, since he's not in the group chat, if he wants to come along, he can.
Davian, they're doing something incredibly stupid over there. Do you want to come along?
I'd prefer not to. I'd like to try to patch up this frostbite as best I can. Yeah?
Very well.
Tell
Davian's
him
sitting
I
here.
wish him the best.
Davian's sitting here trying to warm up and says he thinks you're all doing this very stupidly.
He's correct.
Yeah, I mean, everything we do is a little bit stupid, so.
All right. In that case, Amity, you're using your spirit table.
Yes.
We teleport you and your friends to the other side?
Me and anyone who chooses to come along.
So that'd
I
be
will
Aerith
come
and
along.
Metreon, I think.
Ismark will come along.
We need either them on the outside.
we need strength on the outside.
Yeah, we need strength on the outside, ideally.
I'm not convinced by this battering ram thing at all.
Maybe
Okay, I can say this in character.
We are, as the kids say, winging it.
Okay.
All right. In that case, Ez and Ismark will stay outside, and the three of you will teleport inside. Amity, are you using the tail?
Yes. It's
All
the
right.
one about the rabbits.
All right. And as you spin that tail, a trio of silvery white rabbits apparate from the ether, offering a small paw to you. And as you take their grips, are whisked away to the opposite side of the portcullis.
Somehow this is the only tale that ever comes to me randomly.
Hey, it's a very good one. It's like you were telling me last night. I like the bunnies.
Yeah, bunnies.
yeah,
Hey, what the
bunnies.
hell is this?
What is this?
So there's magic there. Where is it? Is it the coffin?
So, looking into this chamber, this space that you have emerged into, you find yourselves at the bottom of the white marble steps, feeling the stillness, the calm amidst this chamber. In the center of the tomb, you can see the white marble slab supporting an intricately laid coffin. Chiseled into this slab is a name: Sergei von Zarevich. To the north, behind the coffin, are 3 alcoves. A beautifully carved statue stands in each alcove, a stunning young man flanked by 2 angels, looking as polished and new as the day each was placed there. An iron lever protrudes from the south wall, west of the tomb's entrance.
Sergei. We've never heard of a Sergei. Or have we? My memory's going.
He's gotta
You
be.
have.
You
because you remember
did?
what Irina, the name that Irina spoke at the
Irina?
Golden
Oh
Crest.
shit!
Arena? I'm calling out to her telepathically.
Yes, what is it? Is everything alright?
Get over here.
Hun, you gotta get over here.
Irina will beat a path over toward the tomb.
You remember that name from the lake? From your dreams?
Yes, I remember. And she's kind of standing outside the portcullis with Ismark looking in.
Step aside and reveal the name that's blazoned
She
upon
can't
the-
see it from her current position.
Well, shit.
Is there?
I think
way
this is
to-
him.
Is there a way to open the gate from the inside?
Is there?
Yeah, look around for like a
There's-
lever.
The lever might do it.
Oh, there's a lever!
So, the map you've given us, I don't know if I should trust this absolutely beautiful artwork, but one of the 2 torches looks like it's attached to some, like, piston machinery.
There does not seem to be any piston machinery, but you do notice a lever.
Yeah, I'll take the lever and lower it.
All right. And as you pull the lever, the portcullis grinds, slowly lifting up, opening the space. Actually, you have to pull it up to do that. Irina steps down, her footsteps echoing through the dark crypt, the tomb, majestic as it is. And she looks down at the name inscribed upon it, and her hand goes to her mouth. That's it. That's him. I know that name.
So, Strahd's relative, then.
I think so. He must play into this.
Do you...
Could he be? Maybe he's inside. This might sound crazy, but maybe he's inside the coffin. Maybe that's what you felt. Maybe he's waiting for us to free him or something.
Alright, but just
Yeah.
be ready in case he's not something we like. I'm not sure I'd trust a von Zarevich farther than I can throw him.
She nods. Right, I'll be ready.
Yeah. And Aerith will, with his friends, try and lever the coffin open.
Okay. Each of you come together. At the first moment, there's a bit of resistance, and then Ismark's hands curl around the side of it, and somehow the resistance immediately vanishes. And you pull the coffin's lid open. You see within, perfectly preserved, almost looking as though He's sleeping. A handsome youth of the same kind and noble visage you saw in the pool. Jet black hair, dark eyes, not currently closed, but of noble features, aristocratic finery, looking peaceful and calm. You see over the clothes he seems to be wearing a shining piece of gold intricately inlaid with platinum and silver filigree plate armor that shines with the magical aura that Amity had first detected.
Kiva, love. And I'm starting to, like, because we can, like, telepathically DM each other, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're DMing.
So I DM her. So, this is Sergei. It's the bloke who Arena was talking about. You know, not to be too conniving about the dead and all, but he's got a pretty fancy set of plate armor. I know you was looking for one.
I don't know that I could do that to her. If she suggests it, but I'm not gonna ask her.
All right, love. I'm just looking out for you.
No, thank you. I'll think about it. Maybe. Yeah, I'll think about it. Is she okay?
I looked at her. Does she look? How does she look?
She's standing beside the coffin, leaning very faintly against it. There's an odd, distant look in her eyes, and she's very faintly cupping the corpse's cheek in her hands. You hear her murmur, "It feels almost warm."
She's handling it.
Aerith steps back to give her a little space and then kind of murmurs to the others, "He's perfectly preserved. He looks so much like him."
Yeah, he does. And as I say that, as Metron says that, he starts to peel back away from his scalp, his skin and his hair, and from his face, and reveals Sergei's face behind it.
Yeah, that's almost perfect. So what do you think? We met his dad, we met his mom. Brother? Child?
I mean, it looks just, I don't know. This armor, all this, and he gestures at the statues. Does the statue in the center look like him, or is it just like a general, like, statue?
It seems to resemble him a little bit, yes.
Yeah, so I turn to the statue. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be someone at station. What was it that was the whole curse, right? He had to do something.
If it's the same agreement as Lillison, kill someone you love and then be killed by someone who hated.
I mean, this is certainly the kind of tomb you make for someone you care about.
Is this in group chat?
This is in group chat.
Yeah, this is group chat.
Other way around. You kill somebody who loved you, and are killed by somebody who hated you.
Thanks. I didn't got it mixed up.
It's just, it might be important.
The distinction does matter, yeah.
Yes.
So that to me says brother or child.
I mean, if he's been chasing after the same bird for hundreds of years, I doubt he's had much luck with bearing a child.
Good point. Damn. So, I hope Irina's gonna be okay.
Irina's in group chat though, right?
Yeah, that bit said out loud.
Okay. Hey,
Irina's just kind of quietly regarding the corpse, and she closes her eyes and whispers, "Wherever you are, I'm going to find you. I know that wherever you are, you can't do what needs to be done. But I will." And she steps back and nods to the rest of you and says, "Right, do we want to put the top back on, or?"
If you're done. I think I'd... He's got a kind face. I'd prefer not to desecrate this tomb.
Yeah, but I mean, if any of us could maybe use that suit of armor, I'm saying.
Make a persuasion check.
You sure?
Yeah.
30.
Actually 30?
And that wasn't even a crit, wow.
Oh my god.
Irina's just gonna give Sergei's corpse to Metreon.
Irina closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then opens them again and smiles tiredly. You know what? Wherever he is now, I don't think he has much need of it. I reckon that maybe Kiva or Ismark, someone could make better use of that armor than he is right now.
Yeah. We can always bring it back when we're done.
I think so long as we're gentle with it and respectful.
For sure.
I think it should be fine.
Alright. DM Kiva. Alright, you're good to go.
she just goes, will you bring it over for me? I feel like I'm getting close to this.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. And Metreon will start to reach in and start to, as gently as possible.
She does also DM him back, and it is the most, like, cliche movie yearny shit. And she's just like, thank you.
Yeah. Anything for love, right? And start to pull back some of the armor and gather it up in his arms. And, like he got a new suit of armor at Black Friday, just waltzes out as best as he can, bundling it up in his arms.
Okay. Irina will help you with the straps, and Ismark will help carry it over.
Yep.
And is there anything more you'd like to do in the tomb?
Not in this tomb, no.
Okay. Then with that, as you make your way up the stairs and move to rejoin your compatriots as they continue their meditation upon the nature of the items that they have gained, that's where we're going to end it for today.
Okay. Hey. Wow.
We're still just in the basement.
Yep. Still in the first room in the basement, too.
Yeah, exactly. We're not even, in the basement. We're just there.
I have gone through Castle Ravenloft twice as a player and run it once as a DM, and nobody ever starts in the basement. Like, what are we doing here?
Really?
Like, busted in.
Two of my campaigns started in the basement.
I guess you just
about that window.
I guess you just run for actual dungeon crawlers, plunderers. We're basically plunderers.
Fair. Well, on that fun note, I'm excited to see how much further into the castle we get next session. This will be a doozy.
Look, if Strahd didn't want us to spend time here, he shouldn't have put so many goodies in the catacomb.
Yeah,
that's fair. Well, in any case, thank you to everyone for joining us today. We will see you all back in the mists next week. Until then, exercise due caution when robbing graves, and take care.
Bye.